What's up, everybody? Let's do a mic check before we get started with today's live stream. Let's get a mic check going. So if you can hear me in chat, give me a thumbs up or some indicator that my mic is working perfectly fine. Once we get that, we'll continue on with the live stream here. Also, let's get that like button going if you can hear me. Yep, we got thumbs up, telling me I'm good. Let's get that like button going. We are 228 people. I don't think it's crazy to ask for 200 likes right now. Let's get them likes up. We're at 33 right now. Let's get that up and up. Final game of the season for the Cleveland Browns. This one meaningless for pretty much everybody involved. I don't think the result of this Browns game is going to have an effect on a single playoff result today, but this can have an effect on the draft results, obviously. This also will have an effect on who is the single season all-time sack leader. Myles Garrett going for the record today versus the Cincinnati Bengals.
Myself, but over them as well. Last night, your teammates are so amped up. You actually have to be the calming voice of reason. What's been the message? Got us. The defensive line, very best in the league. Defense might be the very best in the league. So don't change anything. They're dominate. Someone we know. It's gonna be a gritty game. Have fun. Appreciate the time. Thanks, Miles. Talk to. We got a chance to sit down.
All right, Brown's going to start kicking this ball off to Cincinnati. Got a super chat. They're about to go hard as fuck for Kevin and win. Watch. We'll see. I think it's going to be difficult. They can go hard as they want. They don't have any of their starting wide receiver options right now other than Jerry Jeudy, and they're down both David Njoku and Harold Fannin. If the Bengals are able to put up points, the Browns offense probably isn't going to be able to do much. I know Cincinnati's defense is bad, but there's just a lack of options out there. So we'll see what happens.
Brown and Mims are huge. They're both 6'8". Transformers going against each other. Miles Garrett's line up against them. Brown right out of the gate. Brown has had such a good year. It's up to the 37. Delphin makes the tackle. Joe Burrow very what his legacy is, very conscious of what Myles Garrett's legacy is as well. He is, and when he plays games, he's obviously the biggest, most important piece for the Cincinnati Bengals. 5-2 when he's a quarterback this year, historically accurate passer, and they drop back a lot. That means there'll be a lot of attempts for Myles to try to get him today. They've averaged 41 points per game the last 2 weeks. P. Ryan is in the backfield. Brown is off to the right.
All right, little fake handoff. No handoff to Chase Brown. And that'll be a 3rd and short here.
Again, keep an eye on Chase Brown because today he has a chance to go for 1,000 yards. And Zach Taylor said last year he got banged up, he couldn't do it. They hope they can get him 1,000 yards today. All he needs is 53 yards, and you see the 2 run plays back to back. They want to win the game, but if Chase Brown's able to get a 1,000-yard rushing, that's another goal.
All right, they're going to drop back here.
Down and short, 5th in the league and 3rd down percentage.
Alex Kappa's, Mason Graham saying Alex Kappa jumped. Yep. And he's correct. Oh, Dalton Riser.
Try that hard count there to get the Bengals. The Browns, that is, the jump and get an easy first down. Riser wasn't able to stay steady.
All right, 3rd and 6 here. Myles Garrett alert. Myles Garrett alert. Look at the extra guys that they have in there. Myles going to be inside the 4-eye. It's going to get a rush up the A-gap, and he's almost there. Oh, man.
Just got rid of it.
Oh.
Makes the tackle, and he took a pretty good hit.
Well, Tom, I thought we were going to see the record go down this soon. Myles Garrett with a great twist. They put Sample in the backfield to try to help protect.
Wow.
Get there.
Dalton Reisner, I think, saved him.
And the quick throw to P. But Joe gets hit awkwardly.
He rolled his ankle a little bit, I think. All right, the Browns get the ball back after 3 and out to start the game. Don't catch it. Don't catch it. Okay. He better get out the 10. He better get the... What the fuck are you doing, man? What is it, man? What is it about this team that makes us incapable of making normal, sound decisions when just simply deciding to catch a punt or to not? What is it? Why can't we ever make good decisions when it comes to that part of the game? Like, is that really just on coaching? Or is there not one person who's returned a punt over the last 5 years who knows what the fuck to do when they're within the 5? Like, I can't imagine it's being taught to catch that ball. Good run. It's unbelievable, man. All right, we got some super chats to catch up on, too. Maker says, your stream makes the season tolerable. Thanks, Q. Appreciate that. Ski Slope says, thanks for the best content. Let's see Myles get that record today. Thank you for the super chat, Ski Slope. It can't just be Bubba, man. It can't. Everybody knows you don't catch a punt within the 5. You can't need a coach to tell you that shit. Like, honest to God. Like, I'm not impressed with Bubba. I'm not saying Bubba should keep his job. I've been saying Bubba should be fired for like 3 years now. So again, I'm no defender of Bubba Ventrone, but like some of this shit is beyond. You need a grown man to tell another grown man to not do that. You know that shit in high school. To not catch a punt if you backed up on your own 5. They know this in college. Like, at some point, if you've gotten to the NFL, you have to understand that if you're within the 5, you can't catch the punt. And yet, we get professional athletes, pro players, who do this all the time. Like, are they being told this? Good throw by Shador. That'll get the Browns into a better field position battle situation, too, if they can't convert here on the next set. Like, it's insane, dog. Like that to me is insane that we keep running into the same problem. 2 different special teams coordinators, by the way. You know what I mean? Like, this was happening with Donovan Peoples-Jones. It used to drive me fucking nuts. Can't hold. Did that get across the line? That got across the line, right? All right, 2nd and 10. Rex Fortune says, I know people talk about not having a kicker since Dawson, but we have a Cribbs curse. He took all the good returns and we are left with this. I don't even care if we get good returns, if I'm being honest. I don't need Josh Cribbs. I just need somebody who makes competent decisions at punt return. That can't be hard to find. That can't be hard to find. Just a guy who could catch punts and know when to catch them and know when to not. Oh, shit, Shador. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah. Yeah, Shador been holding that football like a loaf of bread for like 5 weeks. About time somebody got to it. Look at it, one-handed pull. He doesn't tuck it. He's in that much danger. He's been begging for a fumble for like a couple weeks now. He finally got it.
When he doesn't have good ball security there, and this Bengals defense has been criticized all season, but they're playing better ball down the stretch.
Remember the game versus Cincinnati at the beginning of the season, right? To start the year versus Cincinnati. The Browns lost that game because of turnovers. You know, the Cincinnati defense really didn't do an amazing job. The Browns turned the ball over a ton in that game. That same trend continuing in the first quarter of this game. Got to be a legal procedure, right?
And the referee today is Alex Kemp. It's going to go against the Bengals again. Well,
yeah, every bad thing a quarterback does in their rookie year can't just be written off as a rookie mistake, man. Like throwing an interception because a coverage confused you is a rookie mistake. Fumbling a ball because you held it with one hand is not a rookie mistake. That's bad habits carrying over from college. Yeah, I feel like we call everything a rookie quarterback does a rookie mistake. But it's like, you got to evaluate, did this guy have this problem in college? Because if he had the problem in college, it's not a rookie mistake. It's just a mistake that he makes.
The Bengals offense, they're anticipating Myles Garrett rushing off the edge high to try to get a sack. They're running the ball to the left side of the offensive line. Establish the run game early, maybe tire Myles out. Then pass
for him, so then he has to go after the ball carrier.
Well, if he goes up the field like this, straight down.
Oh, they got us. They got us. It's free 5. They're not going to take it. They're going to take it, though. To reset the down, they're going to take it. They got 5 on the play.
Well, the Bengals fans are cheering a little bit because 95 is, of course, Myles Garrett.
But we see the hard count's going to be early theme of this game plan. Not let Myles get a good jump. He has such a great jump. He talked about how important that is. There's his dad, Lawrence, who is a photographer himself. Myles has the hobby of photography as well. He's got a professional. That's better than what we got, I think.
Thing of beauty right there.
Wow. I have an iPhone.
Down at 8. Burrow gets rid of it quickly.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. All right, they're within the 5.
And he was tripped up at the last moment. Ronnie Hickman makes the tackle.
Who they put the sniper scope on?
So much about Myles.
Oh, yeah, they saw the line. They saw Alex Wright drop back in coverage. Browns trying to get a sim pressure off. And then they threw right at it. Good job by Joe Burrow recognizing that. I've talked about that before in my Shador breakdowns, where teams will throw some ton of sim pressures, and because they do, you're going to see an edge drop back. That's the kind of stuff you want to see Shador recognize with the kind of speed that Joe Burrow recognized it with. When we're talking about, for those who don't understand, like when we're talking about Shador's processing being slow, this is what we're talking about. Like, that's what it should look like when you see a linebacker drop back in coverage. You have something over that part of the field. And there's been multiple times where Shador's had those opportunities. He's held the ball or threw it late. So like, I know I get questions all the time of like, oh, well, what separates this guy from Shador? And it's like, you know, these are the things of why I'm not that high on him so far in his career. Not to say that he should look like Joe Burrow, obviously, but like mechanically, you want to see it work through and be quick like that. Like, again, Joe Burrow worked quick through that progression, got that ball out on time. Even for somebody who likes to improvise like Joe, he can be on time there, right?
Chase Brown's looking for 1,000 yards rushing. He's quite the receiver out the backfield as well. Able to kind of sneak him out to the flat here. The Browns love man-to-man defense. Look at the backer, number 30 on 30. Gets picked. Chase Brown will take that. 6 points all day long. 11th touchdown this season.
That leads the Bengals. He's now one more than T. Higgins. And he has been such a revelation in his 3rd year out of Illinois. As that one deflected.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Nothing kills the vibe like a mixed extra point. Nothing kills the vibe like a missed extra point. All right, let's check in with Sleeper. We got picks this week. I put in one big end of the season pick, $100 for $2,000 and $284. We got Myles Garrett, 1.5 sacks. I got the over on that. I think he's going to get 2 today. Jerry Jeudy, anytime touchdown. Who the fuck else is going to get the ball if the Browns score a touchdown? It's got to be Jerry Jeudy, right? Shador Sanders, over 200 yards passing. A weak Bengals passing defense should allow for Shador to be able to get some positive yards here. Shador Sanders, 13.5 rushing yards. I think he's really surprised folks with how well he's been able to run the ball. We'll bet that he gets over 14, well, over 13. So Chase Brown with 61.5 rushing yards. He's 50 away from 1,000. I'm sure they're going to get him the ball a ton today. The Browns defense has also struggled to stop the run in the first half of football games recently. So I think 61 is a reasonable number for him to get to today. Those are my picks. If you want to make picks with me on Sleeper, get a 100% match on up to $100 when you use the promo code Worst Take. We'll be tracking these picks throughout the game. You get a 100% match on up to $100 when you use the promo code Worst Take. Let me make sure my super chat. Streamlabs, right? All right, so Shador fumbles on his first drive. Held the ball a real long time, too, in that first drive. Hopefully, he kind of corrects that and acts a little smarter with the football here on his second attempt.
On CBS is sponsored by Geico.
Got some super chats in here. Sir Philip says, through all the ups and downs, thanks for making the season a little bit more tolerable. Hoping 2026 gives us something to look forward to. Same here, brother. Mike Skinner Audio says, it's the final week of pain. Happy New Year, Quincy. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate the New Year's wishes.
Bengals have now scored in first 5 of the last 6 games since Burrow's return. How about this? The Browns last had a kickoff return for a touchdown in 2009. And the Bengals, they haven't allowed one in a long time. Here's Williams. He's trying to end that for the Browns.
Yeah, okay. If this is the year where the Browns break that, that'd be hilarious because it's easily the worst year of special teams I've witnessed. Outside of kicker's been fine.
The NFL is proud to kick off this recognition as a partner of the American 250 Commission. American 250 etched into the sidelines on game balls. That looks pretty sharp. And now for Shador Sanders, he has to be a goldfish and kind of forget about what happened on the last series.
And that's part of being a young player in the NFL. Mistakes are going to happen. Shador has a lot of belief in himself. I think he'll be able to move on from this. I want to see how Kevin Stefanski calls the game now.
Sampson, a high pitch. It's his bearings, and he is stopped.
It's like nobody got the memo that Kevin doesn't call the plays anymore.
Yeah, guys, everyone learns differently. And if there's one thing I took from our meeting with Shador yesterday, it's that he will head into the offseason understanding how he learns and how to make it impactful to continue to evolve. He told us it was a challenge for him to watch on the sidelines and be able to learn effectively. But now
Okay, so it pops up, but I'm not hearing it.
He feels in these moments. He feels like he can really evolve from them. Remember, he did say the biggest thing for him today, how fast can you get back on track after bad things happen?
Got to get everyone back on track. Now,
Toss sweep to Malachi Corley, and he gets around the corner for a 3rd and 7.
Tackled by Miles. This is also a Browns offense that is without Quinshawn Judkins. He's on IR, who was having a very good year in the backfield.
Without Fannin Jr., without Njoku. So a lot of Shador's weapons aren't out here right now, right?
All right, 3rd and 6 here.
Handles these situations. The third down, you know that the Bengals can potentially bring pressure here. The first third down, Shador operated perfectly to find Corley on the cross around. Let's see what he does on this one.
That's on that just moved late down to the bottom of your screen. He's in for the first time. Sanders on third down. Pressure's coming to the middle.
Oh, God, he almost threw a pick.
Geno Stone got his hands on it.
Yeah, man, not the opening couple of drives that Shador wanted in this one. It's pretty bad right here. I mean, you throw that right into double coverage. Can't really afford that one. Oh, maybe it's because I don't have my. Yep, that's why I couldn't hear it. All right.
Very busy. Turns out to be a pretty good punt. Williams will come up. Call for the fair catch. And out of bounds at the 29-yard line.
Good.
6-0 Bengals. Yes, we'll keep an eye on Myles Garrett with a record on the horizon.
When you don't use dryer heat can be a real monster. It turns clothes into static magnets for your hair. Use Bounce to stop it. If you want static resistant clothes,
Hey guys, get a little Caesar's pizza deal. 2 large pizzas for $4.99 each. You get pizza.
So Rayshon Jenkins was in the medical tent. Apparently he's out back at the benches with his teammates, so he should be back out there. I don't know if anybody cared about that, but that's there. Let's check in some scores around the league too real quick on the Sleeper app. See here. Scores around the league. NFL, all right. 0-0 Falcons Saints. That's going to determine whether the Panthers or the Buccaneers go to the playoffs this year. Both teams under 500. The Texans are up 3. Oh no, the Texans are down 7-3 to the Colts. The Titans and Jaguars are tied at 7 here. That's an important one to watch. Cowboys versus Giants. Giants up by 3. That's another important one to watch if you're a Browns fan. And then all the other games that could possibly affect the Browns draft order are happening later today. So the ones that are happening right now that you want to keep an eye on if the Browns lose this game, Titans, Jaguars, Cowboys, Giants, right? Those 2 games are going to have a huge impact on what the Browns could do as far as the draft order is considered. Right now with the Browns down to the Bengals 6-0. The Bengals have the ball. So be interested to see how today ends up. Oh, just an update there in the Titans game. Looks like Cam Ward just went to the medical tent and he's headed to the locker room. He's been playing well recently. So that's a big deal there if you want the Titans to beat the Texans. Well, yeah, the Titans to beat the Jaguars, my bad.
A lot of Myles Garrett fans have been tracking from Cleveland.
We know when that quarterback goes to the locker room, very rarely do they return.
Quickly.
And a good run by Chase Brown.
Across the 40 is
No, it's Pirine.
makes the tackle. Joe Burrow handed that off quickly. He's also gotten rid of the football quickly.
He's aware who's on the other side, but Joe's a great decision maker playing against this guy. He knows.
We got a super chat here from Ray Rags. I'm so tired of having to look at how many points this team has given up have come from directly turnovers or special teams. Been over 40% for like the last 3 years. Yep. I mean, there's nothing much more I can say other than yep on that one, buddy. It's about what it's been. About what it's been. This defense being able to remain in the top 10 of most categories over the last couple of years, despite the fact that the offense has done nothing but turn the ball over. I mean, it's nothing short of shocking.
Chase it down. Let's run right at 95.
the Browns with such a big impact on Miles and this defense as a whole. Up again, P. Ryan. P. Ryan bounces off one defender, has to.
You're just getting ran on right now. We got to be able to stop the run if you want to get Miles to record here.
Last week, I think the Steelers didn't run it. Miles Garrett has.
I think they're trying to run blitz. Yeah, they're getting caught in these run blitzes. They're like shading up field.
Him last week, but he was knocking down screens. He's so good at chasing plays down from behind. He's usually good at runs to him, and obviously he's a great pass rusher. The Bengals decide lesser three evils. Let's just run it at him today.
Got some extra shifting going on the offensive line. Orlando Brown moves over to the right side. Couple tight ends now for Myles Garrett. Chase was in the backfield. They dump it off and makes the one-handed grab. He is so athletic. He's got the first down.
The ease in which Jamar Chase plays the game of football, man.
He's just spectacular, Jamar Chase. He makes plays look easy.
Like, there's not going to be, like, I think we need to appreciate just how good of a player Jamar Chase is, man. Because, like, Jeremiah Smith is, like, probably the closest prospect you can measure up to Jamar Chase. And I don't think Jeremiah Smith really touches Jamar Chase as a football player, like a pure football player. Just, he's so good. So smooth at everything he does on the football field.
First down.
And that's no disrespect to like a Jeremiah Smith. It's just like, hey, man, there's one of those in the league right now. And it's Jamar Chase.
Chase Brown on his run to a 1,000-yard season and potentially a 500-yard receiving season, which is so dynamic of a running back. He's a true weapon. You have the duo on the outside of wide receivers, but Chase Brown is the third option on this offense, on top of Yoshi Voss. Everything else they got. They're a dynamic offense. It's why they've been putting up 40-plus points, 30-plus points the last few weeks.
In fact, Joe Burrow told us the other day he's the ultimate game changer. Garrett again on the bottom of your screen lined up. Hard count. Burrow throws to Chase. Jamar Chase has a blocker or two. And again, he's out toward the first down marker. Hickman does eventually make the tackle.
Really good design block scheme there too, right? Just get one ahead, get Jamar back. Jamar's so quick upfield. And it's really not really a good design. It's more or less a good play call versus what the Browns were in.
This is why he's not a normal wide receiver. So many wide receivers run right out of bounds. Jamar Chase is turning his legs like a running back, which is what he played in high school, actually.
Certainly has the hands to make the transition to receiver.
Joe says they're good. They're good then.
They're running it.
Down. Give it up to Williams on the jet sweep. Williams has jet speed. He gets toward the first down marker before Baker takes him down.
Looks like Rashad Slater's hurt again.
Got an injured player down for the Browns.
The
Jet
Delpit?
sweep to the left there to Williams, right off the edge, away from Myles Garrett.
Nah, it looks like Tyson Campbell.
We got Tyson Campbell, a huge addition for the Browns.
Like he hurt his shoulder.
Brown will step away with 2:08 to play.
Yeah, no Denzel Ward on the field either right now. Cam Ward officially questionable to return versus the Jaguars is the word now. Probably not going to be back in this game versus the Jaguars.
I'm getting the lay of the land.
All right, Browns back out here. It looks like Miles is lined up in the neutral zone. He needs to back up. They're gonna throw the flag here. They didn't call it. It looked like he was lined up in the neutral zone, didn't it? Look, he's lined up right on the ball.
Burrow, they're 5-2 with Joe Burrow. Good idea of what different this season could have been if he did not have that toe.
What could have been is the word, because think about the division. The division is wide open this year, obviously, with Pittsburgh and Baltimore having to play to get in still. So this definitely could have been the Bengals year. Unfortunately, the football gods don't always make it that way. But they still want to have a lot to fight for, and they have a lot of belief going into next season. They know Burrow will be back, and they'll make it the offseason.
From the 7, Burrow release as it deflected.
Picked off, and it's going to be returned, and it might be 6. Devin Bush, if he can keep going. Myles Garrett gets the block. Devin Bush for 6, but there's a flag.
There is a flag, however, at the 40-yard line.
I know they.
7-yard return.
I know they didn't.
How about Myles Garrett with the convoy down the right side? Let's see the penalties.
Please let it stand. Rule of cool.
I think that's going to stand. The penalty is going to come during the return. As a player, it's funny when you get your ear in the huddle all the time.
Touchdown is good.
Okay. What was the unsportsmanlike conduct?
Well, Devin Bush has 3 interceptions, 2 returns. Ball was deflected at the line of scrimmage.
The tip drill, Myles Garrett with the great rush off the edge and the tip on the inside. Look at Devin Bush's ability to see that someone's coming. Shelby Harris there.
Yeah, Shelby with the tip drill. Did it to win the game last week, too.
T. Higgins. Myles Garrett with the lead block, just as you draw it up in practice.
I was thinking that Bush was thinking about handing it off to Myles Garrett to go to the end zone.
Hey, man, missing that extra point is always a vibe killer.
Which is a little more extensive. Schmidt. It's good. And the Browns have taken the lead in the final minute of the first quarter. Devin Bush.
It's just when your big ambitions need help with small details.
How's it going?
For when your year one needs 70 years of tax know-how. And for when you need help getting the most out of your money. For life outside the box.
All right, so the Browns go up 7-6 here against Cincinnati after a Joe Burrow pick 6 to Devin Bush. Great play by Shelby Harris to get a hand on the ball. We know if Shelby can do one thing, he can get up in that passing lane and interrupt. Hopefully that's an ability he has taught Mike Hall and Mason Graham. The innate skill that he's been able to kind of pass over to one of those two as well. So useful to be able to get somebody who can get their hand up in passing lanes. But yeah, it's been real nice to see that from the Browns defensive line over the last couple of years. Shelby, really good signing there, right? He was one of those like late July, last minute signings. Does he still have juice or not? I think he's really provided 2 solid years for the Browns here. Well, no, 3. Has it been 3? Was he 23? This is 3rd year in Cleveland?
They've been, their offense is phenomenal. Touchdowns on each of the last 12 red zone drives. That deflection and interception by Bush. Talked to Gene about the penalty as well to Devin Bush.
In our meeting, Zach Taylor.
So the Browns defense, oh, he did the hold my dick. Okay, yeah, that's gonna get you a flag. He did the Marshawn Lynch hold my dick. Hold my dick.
Points.
That's what
Gave
happened.
up this year,
Okay, yeah, the penalty makes a lot of sense.
touchdowns. To his point, there's another one right there.
Because of the penalty, this is an odd formation. Brooks Williams, excuse me, will take it inside the 15. It's up close to the 30. Survivor 50 is coming to CBS. If you're not watching the greatest reality show on television, this is the season.
They threw it before that? There's no way they threw it before that. If they threw it before that, that would have been no touchdown. You can't dive into the end zone while holding your nuts. No, that's going to be unsportsmanlike every time. Yeah. Yeah, for whoever had that question in chat, yes, they will call that every time.
Play clock down to 5, plenty of time. Dumps it underneath the ground.
You got to remember that these games happen on network TV during the day. Like, they have to be rated G to an extent. Like, you can't have players holding their nuts and think you're going to be able to maintain the level of television contracts and advertisers the league has gotten accustomed to. That is definitely a fumble. Are you going to call that an incomplete pass?
So he never had complete control. And give Hickman credit because he hit him hard to knock it loose, make sure he couldn't get control.
P. Ryan out there with Burrow.
Down. Miles going a little wider.
Always going to have the tight end or somebody in his vicinity.
No tight end this time.
They hand the ball off to P-Ryan. P-Ryan getting to the edge.
He gets the first down. No, he gets to about 3rd and 3 here.
Before Ross trips him up.
I will tell you something, the adjustment that I'm noticing from the Browns defense. When Joe is getting rid of the ball, Joe Burrow is so quickly, you're not going to get this with your hands up.
Are they going to let this run down to the quarter break?
Shelby Harris got his hands up, which led the tip pass, which led to the interception.
Yeah, they're just going to get a snapshot here.
Probably a hard count here.
Just a snapshot. Yeah, they're not going to snap it. All right, they're going to go to commercial here. We're going to check in with our picks for today. Let's pull up my picks here. All right, again, got the 5 picks in. If you want to join the fun, join Sleeper, get a 100% match on up to $100 when you use the promo code. Worst take. Let's check in with my picks here to see if I will be correct here. Obviously, Myles Garrett, no sacks yet, but we know Myles can pop 2 off at any moment here. Jerry Jeudy, no touchdown yet. Shador, only 22 passing yards in the first quarter, so we're a bit away from over 200 here. No rushing yards for Shador Sanders. Luckily, this is in college football. They don't count negative rushing yards. Chase Brown is at 20 rushing yards, so we're about 1/3 of the way there with 1 quarter through. This is a $100 slip to win, I believe, almost 2,000 or something crazy like that. But if you want to join the fun, make sure you join Sleeper. Use promo code WORSTTAKE. Get a 100% match on up to $100 if you live in a area that allows the Sleeper app. All right, some injury updates for the Browns. Tyson Campbell and Denzel Ward, both questionable to return. Denzel Ward with a neck injury. You have to believe he's not going to see the field the rest of the day. Tyson Campbell with a shoulder injury. Shuck chair.
From the wild card round through the AFC Championship, you can always count on the NFL on CBS and streaming on Paramount Plus. Logan Ryan, Amanda Melionis, Gene's territory, Tom McCarthy, split down in two. For Burrow and the Bengals. The backfield to help out Myles Garrett. The Browns showing blitz. By Cincinnati.
Tom, I don't think there was a play called at all. I think it was a true hard count situation. See what the Browns would do. See to get a free one there to get them the jump.
Let's check in with Adam John in New York with an update.
Tom, the Falcons blocked the punt and Kirk Cousins made it count. 15-yard touchdown to Drake London. If Atlanta wins, Carolina makes the playoffs. 7-0 Falcons in the first quarter. Back to you.
Baker Mayfield was saying that he's not normally a Saints fan, but he's a Saints fan today. And that is one of the important games to watch on this final Sunday in the National Football League regular season.
Falcons win, Carolina's in.
Little rhyme.
All right, 3rd and 2 here. Browns look like they're in a heavy blitz front. They're going to run the ball up the middle here, and they're going to get it. Again, if the Browns can't stop the run, they're not going to be able to get to a lot of true pass sets today. They got to be able to stop the run. This has been an issue for them in the first half of games for this second half of the season, where they just give up the run, give up the run, give up the run. And then for whatever reason in the second half, they're able to stop the run and be a good defense again.
Right behind our center, Ted Karras there.
We got some gifted subs in the building, some gifted subs. Appreciate that. That's from the Fish Dakota.
Successful. They are. Down on the play fake, Burrow.
Myles Garrett rushes up. He dumps it off. Are you serious? What is going on? Is that another?
It's going to be another celebration penalty, but no one.
Okay, so you're just straight up not allowed to dive into the end zone. I thought it was because he did the hold my dick. I mean, you might as well make it worth your while, but you're not even allowed to do that. Oh, did he hold his nuts? I think he held his nuts. I think he held his nuts.
Punch by Jerome Baker. And the return there got so much time to lead to another taunting penalty. Joe Burrow can't believe it. Played so well, just 2 costly turnovers.
Yeah, I think he held his nuts.
Play. We will step away while they look at it. 14:06 to play.
We'll see. Yeah, I think he held his nuts. I mean, like, you don't get if you're that guy's not going to get an opportunity to score very often. You gotta go big, right? Go big or go home. That was Tarver, right? He's been here since 2020. Yep. Yeah, he did the hold my nuts. That's why they threw the flag. He did the hold my nuts. Hey, man, I hope somebody pays his fine, because that's a guy who was on the practice squad like 3 weeks ago. I know his check don't cover that fine. I said we don't need Sanders when we can get touchdowns from our defense. Yeah, man, if the Browns offense can't muster enough points to win today after getting 14 points from the defense, yeah, dude, I don't want to hear about how we need to give this a whole another year.
Because it was a turnover and a scoring play, they immediately reviewed it. Was Fant's knee down? They said no.
It stands. His knee's not down. He's up.
Webb picked it up off the hit from Baker to run it in. Here's the penalty on Webb. Is this aggravating to the coaches? They have 2 of these
On the same celebration, one, get more creative. But 2, if I'm Schmidt and I'm the kicker, I'm pretty mad these extra points are so far.
Who gives a shit? Besides the Browns, how many head coaches do you think will be fired this offseason? Probably like 4 or 5.
We'll be back in 30 seconds.
I think another AFC North team will fire their head coach, whether it be the Steelers or the Ravens. I think one of those teams are going to fire their coach. I think one of those teams. I think the Ravens are more likely than the Steelers because the Steelers are just so goddamn scared. And the Ravens are pretty scary too, but they're at the point to where they feel like they should be winning championships and they're not really close, right?
For Sanders, I went to the bench losing. I mean, the Browns defense have scored back-to-back touchdowns. And that just shows you how good of a defense they are. They have a Super Bowl contending defense. The Bengals have a Super Bowl contending offense. That defense is winning right now.
Boy, if the Bengals and Browns merged, that would be a hell of a team. Could you imagine that if the Bengals had the Browns defense or the Browns had the Bengals offense? I don't know if there's a salary cap in the world big enough for that to happen, by the way. It's just too much talent. But that would be, that would feel like an Olympic team, dog. It would feel like the U.S. football Olympic team.
But obviously, these guys in this division, Lamar, who's extremely athletic, and Joe, different.
If the Browns could not get to Mendoza but got to Moore, or what if, I would be happy with that. I like Mendoza more, but I like Moore too. I think Moore's worth a pick there too.
Watt matched 2021. First down, and the ball off. Yards up to the 31 or so yard line. Shelby Harris makes the tackle.
Well, the script has flipped, right? In the first game, Bengals versus Browns, first of all, they're edging for more points here. How mad will Kobe be if they win because the defense kept scoring touchdowns? I think Kobe's already upset that they won last week. I don't know how much more angry a win this week can make him.
Going against the top wide receiver tandem and Chase and Higgins, I want to see how the Bengals adjust knowing that both starting corners are out the game.
Side. Ryan up across the 35. Devin Bush makes the tackle. You mentioned it before. Bengals are running the ball a little more often.
A lot. They're a pass-first offense. They have the most drop-back passing in the NFL. Don't think it's a coincidence that they're running the ball more knowing that Myles Garrett's on the other side, but they're running it effectively. It's been the turnovers that's hurt them today.
It'll be third down and 2.
Thank you, Todd, for the super chat.
Chase one-on-one, top of your screen.
Third down. Miles gets through, almost gets the sack. Oh, but they complete it.
It was Sam Webb who gave him the cushion. And it's a first down for the Bengals.
Can't have that one-on-one matchup too often. Let's check out Myles Garrett.
Yeah, he gets Dalton Reisner inside out, and then Joe just gets that thing out real quick.
When you leave this guy one-on-one, you're running.
Yeah, we got Webb on Jamar Chase right now. I'm shocked they're not trying to take advantage of that.
Denzel Ward, Tyson Campbell in the game.
Saw the quick right side. Burrow pass complete to Chase.
That's gonna be short.
At the first down marker. D'Angelo Ross makes the tackle to gain of about 10.
Well, Joe Burrow made the adjustment. He knows the corners are out. Now he's going to take advantage and feast. No more run game. Find your dynamic wide receivers. Again, another out route. Run beautifully. If you're
Yeah, we got nobody on the field who can do anything with Jamar Chase. This might be a slight issue.
Reception of the fourth target for Chase. Brown is stopped.
Just moved to Ohio and started watching the NFL. Thanks for being a great primary source for understanding the game, and team. Much love. Appreciate that, man. Yeah, if Cam Ward doesn't check back into that Titans game, they got no shot.
Win and they're in. That's my rhyme for that one. Right? Win and they get whatever they wanted to get.
Get stuffed. Mason Graham.
Decision time for the Bengals.
They got to go for this, right?
That offense out there and go for this.
Might as well, right?
Might as well. Last game of the season, you have Joe Burrow on the field. You have a good chance of picking up a 4th and 1. They just tried to run downhill, and that didn't work. You drop back and put it in Joe Burrow's hands, knowing that 95's on the other side.
They add Lucas Patrick as an extra lineman.
They're going to run it with P-Rod.
13 of 19.
Remember, they did this in the Super Bowl with Zach Taylor. It's the same play. Yeah, it's the same play. They call timeout? Okay. Bengal fans not happy with that.
I don't like it. The crowd, you can hear the boos here. It's week 18. Your offense is the strength of your team. I know you turned it over a couple times, but I think Burrow agrees. He wanted to go. He never showed you too much emotion. I know Jamar Chase threw his hands up. That was surprising by me. I thought, as a player, I would want to go for that.
Now the Bengals will punt it away. Larvidan is back deep to receive. He calls for the fair catch.
There we go. Way to catch it, not within the fucking 5 gauge. Get a cookie. All right, let's see Shador. First 2 drives from him were pretty shit, but he had a long hiatus in between drives, so hopefully he plays better. Yeah, Denzel Ward walking back to the locker room. Seems like he's going to be out. Yeah, all 20 points in this Browns-Bengals game have been turnover assisted so far. The Bengals get the short field off the Shador fumble, score their first 6 points. Browns get 14 off turnovers from the Bengals. This is peak week 18 football right here, baby. Peak week 18 football. All right, we're back.
Cincinnati Fire Museum celebrating America's first paid professional fire department. Right here in Cincinnati in 1853. Sure, it's been 36 minutes since he last took a snap. That's why we.
That's 2 episodes of the Parkers you done watched.
That's right.
Rewarm the arm up. Comes out firing.
Nah, they're gonna run it.
Settle down for the previous turnover.
They're gonna run it right into this fucking 5-man front.
Rocket Sanders is in for the first time. He had a lot of reps last week for the Browns.
Nope, play action. Thank God. Oh boy.
Sanders dumps it off.
Okay.
He's got the other Sanders. Flags coming in.
Got to be a hold, right?
Up close to the 19-yard
You hold the ball that long, you're begging for a hold. Maybe hands to the face.
Johnson.
Maybe we get a pass. Maybe we get roughing the passer.
Something late here on Sanders. Looks like
Yeah, it's 15.
Zach Taylor's team down by 8. Zach Taylor, we asked him, you have a relationship with Kevin Stefanski? He said, yeah, we were both came in as quarterback coaches together. Our kids are basically the same age. And we asked Kevin yesterday, because there's been a lot of talk about whether this is his final game with the Browns. We asked him if there will be any reflection on his part during the course of the game. He said, I have too much respect for this.
Browns like Key and Peele touchdown celebration sketch. I wonder if that's what's next. If the defense gets another. Oh my God. All right, that boy woke up on the wrong side of the bed today, man.
Owner of the Cleveland Browns. Obviously, he has decisions to make as well. Such a powerful defense, and the offense just hasn't been able to do what they expected to do with 3 different quarterbacks.
that's the issue with 3 different quarterbacks. Stefanski's a 2-time coach of the year. I competed against him and their offenses, and it's a lot to deal with as a player. But I'll tell you what, if this is his last game as a coach, he'll get hired in a day. Another organization will definitely love to have him. He's that good of a coach.
All right, 2nd and 21. And another sack for Sanders.
Cedric Johnson, no hands to the face this time.
Yeah, that boy ain't wake up on the right side of the bed today, man. Let's be real. He playing like Duke right now. Woo.
Just a rap game.
I mean, it's just, it's mesh. It's mesh. Get rid of the ball on the top of your drop here. Jerry Judy's running the drag underneath so you can get to your drop. It's mesh. Just get rid of the ball. You can't take a coverage sack on mesh, man. Yeah, they throw a screen here. Thank God he doesn't hold on to the ball and we'll punt. Jimmy has the face of a man who doesn't think that Sanders is the answer, LOL. Yeah, Jimmy, I don't think Jimmy Haslam really is. I think he's truly indifferent on this whole Sanders thing, which is hilarious because he's the center of every controversy that surrounds, like every conspiracy that surrounds him. I truly don't think Jimmy gives a fuck about Shador that much. Like, I don't think he cares one way or the other. Maybe his kids or his grandchildren are fans of Shador, but like, there's been no energy from Jimmy Haslam towards Shador. Like, none whatsoever. Like, there were a million opportunities for Jimmy to put his finger on the scale and involve himself and make sure the player he likes gets extra reps or some shit like that. At no point has that happened. Like, I don't think Jimmy cares. But just so many conspiracies revolve around like Shador being Jimmy's guy. And it's like the main piece of evidence is like that one picture where his grandchildren are wearing Shador jerseys. I shit you not. That's like the main piece of evidence of this whole conspiracy. And that's such a weak piece of evidence. It's like nothing tangibly about how the Browns operate gives you that impression whatsoever. You know what I mean?
Hollywood's biggest party is now bigger than ever with more stars, more glamour, and more chaos. Nikki Glazer hosts the Golden Globes live CBS next Sunday, streaming on Paramount Plus. Myles Garrett has played every snap unofficially in today's game for the Browns defensively. Top of your screen, they had the extra tight end to help. Burrow to throw, throws to the middle, incomplete.
Great job by Ronnie Hickman there.
Play Miles today.
There's always a game plan for 95. This was, I love this pass rush. This wrap here by Myles Garrett, that was the closest he's got. That was the first third down of the game. But you know, if he's out to the left, he's got to beat double or triple teams. And it's something that since he's been doing a lot, it's running the ball downhill or away from Myles Garrett. He's not able to get involved. He's played every single.
Head coach and quarterback not responsible for the lead so far. I mean, obviously.
Around a little bit more. Top of your screen right now.
Says that he has the freedom to do that. This play is start against the Bengals.
The Bengals are responsible for your lead. That's good. That's good. Second and 15. They're gonna have to throw their way out of this. Probably a screen here.
Some of that, the impact of Myles Garrett.
It is because they're changing the cadence so much. He's so good at jumping the snap. They're doing a lot more hard counts than they normally do to confuse the Browns defense, but sometimes when your offensive linemen have to sit there a little bit longer than normal, they get fidgety.
Second down and 15. Burrow, by the way, today 8 of 11, 70 yards. He has the one pass interception for a touchdown. All 20 points today have come off turnovers. Combined. Burrow sets up in the pocket to the middle. Pass is complete. Yoshibashi.
All right, 3rd and 10.
Been such a
Or 3rd and 9. It's gonna be a 3rd and long here. This is a big opportunity here for Myles.
Joe Burrow's eyes in his process. Stares it right down. Beautiful ball. I mean, he's the career leader in accuracy in NFL history. He's so great. His superpower is pre-snap, reading a defense, and delivering the ball accurately. Now we got 3rd and 8. This is a true opportunity for Myles Garrett here to get a pass rush off. But notice how you got the tight end in the backfield to help out Orlando Brown at the top of the screen.
Does come. He's double teamed. Burrow has it tipped away, and it's incomplete. It was Alex Wright who got it.
Just held. All right, 4th and 8.
Fourth down, so a couple tip passes by this defensive.
The Bengals defense is stalling out. I mean, the Bengals offense is stalling out. Alex Wright gets a hand on that. Great job by Alex Wright there. Another player that the Browns have developed over the last 4 years.
There's a high.
Oh, I thought somebody jumped into the neutral zone. If you're just joining this game and you want to know a synopsis of what's gone down, the Browns defense is fucking amazing. The Browns offense sucks, and so do their special teams. That's been pretty much the wrap of the whole season. It's what's going on now. The Browns offense have scored no points, but the Browns defense, 14 points. Same thing's going on with the Bengals, where the Bengals only have 6 points right now because Shador fumbled the ball on the first drive. Other than that, they've been shut out.
Coming up on the Rise and Halftime Report, join JB, Ryan, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. It's all coming up on the Rise and Halftime Report. We'll talk about all the different playoff scenarios. Jacksonville still has a chance for the 1 seed, the 2 seed. It's such a great storyline, and so many others around the National Football League. And here it's the Browns 14, the Bengals 8, with 6:16 to play. Here in the first half, all 20 points come off turnovers.
Yeah.
They
stole my stat.
And the Bengals, Burrow's 9 of 13, 77 yards. They're running the ball well, but they're down by 8. 44. Sanders. These offenses run only 4 plays in the last 15 game minutes. We'll go back to work. Ball to Sampson. Sampson's on in the backfield. Check it again with Adam Schott in New York.
Tom Logan, Riley Leonard fumbled, and former Ohio State quarterback C.J. Stroud runs it in. First rushing touchdown since Stroud's rookie year. 20 to 10. Houston, back to you.
All right.
Said how athletic he is. Houston, 3 seed with a win, and a Jacksonville loss. But there's so many other scenarios for them, from winning the division to being the number 7 seed.
It's a real stack formation here.
Second down. So if you win, you control so much more of your destiny. Sanders intercepted.
That's his third turnover worthy play of the game here. He did not wake up on the right side of the bed or whatever it is. Cause I'm not the biggest believer in Shedeur anymore, but man, this is a bad game. This is a horrific game so far for him. He's lucky he's only had the 1 turnover. He should have like 4.
It almost feels like Shedeur's gotten out of rhythm. He's got to find a way to convert this third down so they can stay on the field so they can play some offense today.
Down at 10. Play clock down to 2. Sanders trying to set up a toss. Looking for Judy. Rolls the pocket. Zips it to Judy. Does have a lot of room to roam. But is out of bounds. Davis makes the tackle. And now 4th down. No real choice here but to pump the ball if you're the Browns.
You have to punt the ball away there. The offense is not in rhythm. Shedeur does such a good job of starting games hot. It feels like, honestly, because his defense has so many turnovers, he sat so long, he fell out of it. But quick, short throws, the run game's not working right now. Both offenses are struggling at the moment. Obviously, Joe Burrow has a little more experience here getting the ball back. And that's the second half.
Kev, a bridge head coach, very valuable but limited. I think Kevin's just, here's the thing. Kevin Stefanski, how old is he? I think he's still under 40 or like barely 40 years old. Like I think he's like the same age as fucking Aaron Rodgers, right? Yeah, he is 43 years old. I think the problem with Kevin is we got him too early, you know? There's some things he needs to develop as a head coach that we hoped he'd be able to develop while he was the head coach here that I think he just can't develop while he's here. And he probably needs to go somewhere else to learn those lessons. And that's just going to be what it takes. I think Kevin in his 50s is probably going to be a much better coach than Kevin in his late 30s, early 40s. I think we just got to him too. It's like Bill Belichick. I don't know if he's going to have the career of a Bill Belichick, but you know, the Browns got the Bill Belichick too early. I think we got to Kevin too early. Toaster says, I'd say our best player on special teams is our kicker, surprisingly. Well, at least that's the important one, right? Have we ever traded up in the draft since 1999? Yeah, we've traded up. We've traded up in the draft. Not into the top 5. I don't think we've ever traded up into the top 5, but we've traded from like 27 to 22, you know?
Easy handoff here to Chase Brown around the edge. No edge set. That's rule number 1 in defensive football. You got to set an edge. This guy's going to be a 1,000-yard rusher today. How well he's done. But you've got to think the game's got to open up now. Brown starting corners are out. I would love to see Joe Burrow throw the ball downfield on the edges.
Let's go, Miles. Has Miles got the sack? No, Miles has not gotten the sack yet.
Got away with a little bit of a nudge, but that's big time.
The Bengals are driving here with 4 minutes left in the second.
This is what I was alluding to.
It's going to be tough, too, because look at who we got covering, Jamar Chase. I'm shocked that the Bengals aren't attacking that.
But
Like, are they that afraid to take a sack here? Is this Zach Taylor?
quick, I understand the sack record and all that, but we got to move past that and realize that there are backup cornerback. Your 2 wide receivers.
I'll get to your super chat after this play real quick.
More than any other defense in football.
Yeah, right now Burrow kind of feasting on that. Drops back to pass.
Myles Garrett was held into a fucking oblivion there, and they're not calling it. There was talk of trading Shador to the Raiders during the preseason. We dodged a bullet. Could you imagine him behind that line? Oh, you must be a Raiders fan. There's the perfect time to wait on a drag route when it's already on the sideline. He refuses to throw it in stride. Yeah, I don't know how you get 10 yards deep into your drop there. You know, like some of this shit is just like, it shouldn't be happening.
Of a player, yes.
Second down, Burrow off the play.
Oh.
From behind, he
Damn.
P-Ryan makes a few men miss, and P-Ryan gets to the first down.
Damn. That was a good opportunity. That was a good opportunity to get it. Miles just couldn't get around the corner fast enough.
Burrow as he dumped it off.
I feel like the whole crowd holds their breath
Yes.
when Joe holds the ball for 2+ seconds. I mean, Miles gets a chance. There, he's got to beat a double team to do it. He's used to hard work. But we mentioned the name Barry Bonds, right? Because I want to say this. Miles is so dominant with so limited opportunities to actually sack the quarterback, similar to Barry Bonds hitting so many home runs. But he rarely gets pitched at because he's walked so often.
Yeah, that's a great analogy, except for hopefully Miles isn't on the juice.
Play clock is
They're going to call timeout, take it to the 2. All right, let's go check in with some of my picks so far on Sleeper. You want to join the fun on Sleeper, make sure you get a 100% match on up to $100 when you use the promo code Worst Take. All right, so we're going to check in here. We got Chase Brown at 43 yards, so we're real close to hitting that over on Chase Brown here. Shador, unfortunately, man, he's playing a fucking stinker, and I got him in this goddamn pick bet. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully a much better second half. 48 yards, my God. The anytime touchdown from Jerry Jeudy has not hit yet. Myles Garrett, no sacks yet, and Shador, no rushing yards yet. So might have been the worst possible time to put Shador in 2 bets for one of my pick slips here. As we try to hit the big one at the end of the season, $100 for $2,228. Let's see what happens here. But yeah, rough one so far. The Chase Brown one looks like it's hit. The good thing is that like we're still within reach of some of these things, but yeah. I don't know. Let's check the scores around the league too, real quick, while we're still in commercial break. Falcons up 10-7 on the Saints. That's going to determine who makes the playoffs there. It looks like the Jaguars are beating up on the Titans. Once Cam Ward went out that game, the possibility of the Titans losing skyrocketed tremendously. It looks like the Jaguars going to put belt to ass there in Jacksonville. And the Giants trailing the Cowboys 10-9. You want the Giants to, I don't know, you might want the Giants to lose and then the Raiders to win, because that does open up a double trade up scenario where both teams with the top 2 picks will be willing to trade up. Will be willing to trade back. I I think that heavily depends though on where the Browns sit. I don't think the Browns can have like the 7th pick and be able to pull that off.
Oh no, look, the crowd is
That's your trick
acknowledging
shot,
him.
Joe. I love it.
He's got a smile on his face. He said the door is still open. He hasn't really thought about next year at all.
The dumbest argument we got into all season with Browns fans was like people being mad that Joe Flacco was running quarterback sneaks. Like, you remember that? Where people were like, oh, why are we sending out 40-year-old Joe Flacco on quarterback sneaks? Like it fucking mattered that he was 40. It's a goddamn quarterback sneak. I mean, he's still running quarterback sneaks. He's big as shit.
Step to the right.
Why does the media hype up Kevin so much? Because they think he's a good coach. And I think Kevin is a good coach. I just think he's not ready to be the kind of coach we need him to be right now.
Got to swing one of those.
I don't know. I think that was a semi-gritty.
That wasn't no
He
fucking gritty.
got a little bit of motion. We'll say.
Called the
A
Flacco
little bit
is
of
what they
motion
call
there.
it.
Look, we're obviously under a minute here. The Bengals with the 2 timeouts, they're going to take their time.
Yep.
They don't want to give the ball back. The Browns with much time left.
Here comes the blitz. Burrow steps up, throws, passes complete to T. Higgins.
They're going to have to call a timeout here.
Sam Webb makes the tackle. Timeout called.
Not the last time you'll see T. Higgins today. Just pushing off from the corner there. Great hands. T. Higgins at his size has a beautiful ability to catch the ball with his hands always. And adjust. You're going to think he's going to have to find number 1 or number 5 down here in the red zone. Shador's watching a little bit more of this half.
Well, because Shador and the Browns have only had 15 total plays offensively. To the Bengals, 36 plays. But they're up because of their defense and the turnovers.
The defense, the Browns' defense is outscoring the Bengals' offense.
Down. The backfield. Doorstep of 1,000 yards.
Oh, god damn. He's so close.
Coming.
Damn. It's like he feels him.
Pocket.
I believe quarterbacks can feel when I'm.
He's like he has eyes in the back of his fucking head. Look at this shit. Easy win, rip off the middle. There's no way he saw that, dog.
It's absolutely the impact that he.
Oh my
You know that's
fucking
exactly-
goodness.
Yes, it's a pressure, but the quarterback throws the incompletion so quickly that the rest of the defense gets to rest. They only play for 1 second right there.
That's the other part of Myles Garrett's year. He's 51 quarterback pressures. Tops in the National Football League. Down, Burrow to throw again. Lofts it to
Oh
the
boy.
Higgins.
Oh. 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 Retire. 27 has to retire. If that wasn't a push off. Oh. Oh, you gotta retire, 27. You gotta retire, dog. Oh.
With the goalpost. Higgins with double-digit touchdown seasons.
6'4" with ball skills. We talk about how good he is with his hands. Hold the defender off with his right. All you need.
Oh my goodness.
That's good every
Oh.
Sundays. Tom.
Oh, that shit was nasty.
It's the one-on-one matchups.
That was fucking dirty, dog. Like, oh. Oh. I don't know why the Bengals aren't throwing the ball more. Did he miss another extra point?
Great season. They're the only 3.
Hey, did he miss another extra point? That's crazy. That's crazy. This game is happening in reverse to the Bengals. Like, this is week 1 in reverse. Yeah, you got to retire, dog. Kicker got to retire, too. 2 missed extra points, no rush. What's going on?
You're going to look at chasing game. I think they're not.
I thought they were definitely going to go for 2 there. I don't understand why the Bengals, they see 2 generics out there at corner and they refuse to target them. He got webbed. It was nasty. That's why we need to draft the QB and a wide receiver like we haven't had that in years. I mean, we're not going to that was T. Higgins. You could get T. Higgins. Jamar Chase you can't just get, right? But yeah, I mean, you want something like that. You want a wide receiver quarterback connection. And it took the Bengals multiple years to build that wide receiver connection as Shedeur throws up another fucking YOLO ball that almost gets intercepted. It's got to be his 5th turnover worthy play of the game. Please. If you did, is he injured? Like, what is this?
Right now, the Browns offense, the ball's not getting out quick enough for how the
What's the intention with that throw? What was the intention? What was the hope there? We're just like, let's see what fucking happens. Yo, it's like his 4th play like that in this game.
Get the 2-minute drive started.
Play Sanders lets it fly over the head of Joe.
All right, man, go to bed.
Just basically throwing it away.
Go to bed, dog.
13 seconds left.
Look, if you have an incomplete pass, you're playing the ball back to the Bengals here. You have to complete the ball right here or run the ball to make the Bengals use their last timeout. You absolutely cannot afford an incomplete pass. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a run play here.
See what the target line is. Schmidt.
What's Shedeur going to do? Take a sack?
Aaron Carter, the Mike linebacker, heard them call that out. They do run the ball. That'll wind down
Good job by Travion.
the first half here in Cincinnati. Last couple seconds off the clock. It's a 2-point game.
Goodness gracious. What a fucking awful 2 quarters of football, offensively speaking, from both teams. Might be the worst offensive half of football I've ever seen. Yeah. Whoa, what a terrible half of football. What a terrible half of football. My goodness. My goodness. This has been a masterclass in just bad football. Let me see something. I want to see how many total yards the Browns have. Because I imagine when you factor in the sacks that Shedeur is taking, that the Browns can't be that positive in total yards here. Let's see. Where are we at? This game right here. So the Browns have 2 first downs in the first half. They're 1 of 5 on third down. They've only ran 18 plays, only have 40 total yards. 26 yards passing. And let me see something. Oh, good Lord. Yeah, 26 yards. So Shedeur's lost 22 in sacks, 3 sacks for 22 yards. So the Browns have netted 26 yards of passing offense. Not good. Browns averaging 2.8 yards a rushing attempt. That's beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what to take away from this other than the obvious. The Browns offense has no hope. Can you imagine if they bench him? That would be hilarious. I mean, look, if it wouldn't cause a controversy, if Shedeur were a normal quarterback, he probably would have been benched by now. Like, there's just multiple throw. Like, if this, like, the game doesn't matter too. That's another thing. The game doesn't matter. The Browns are not going to make the playoffs, so why start a controversy for no reason? But yeah, this has been bad, man. Like if the Browns are playing games that matter right now, he probably would be benched. Like, let's be real about what we're seeing right now. It's not good. It's not remotely good. You can't make an excuse about it being good. And it's been like that for the majority of the last 4 weeks, man. Like, this has kind of been what Shedeur has put together. We talked about it that, hey, the schedule was going to toughen up. He was going to play against 4 teams that had chances to be in the playoffs. And this is what he's put together in those 4 weeks. It doesn't encourage you at all. And there's no point, there's no real way you can go into next season with this is the plan at quarterback. You know, this is a bad plan. You know, maybe Shedeur figures it out later in his career, but he's not close to figuring it out right now. My God, they gave Kirk Cousins 1 million seconds to throw the football out there against the Saints. Like, I don't know. I don't think there's even if he has a good second half, I just don't think there's enough there, man. Like, I don't think we've seen enough to even consider it seriously. Like, he's back to try to work your way up the depth chart and get an opportunity, man. Like, that's just kind of what it is. Ray Rags also said that's why we need to draft a quarterback and a wide. Oh yeah. Mob forever with the super chat. Appreciate you, Mob. Yeah, it's not been great, man. It's not been great. There's no way around it. Like, it simply has not been good enough football to justify a commitment. And that was the prompt. Can he justify a commitment? It has not been that. So a new QB next year, or what is next? The Browns are gonna have to look at. So after the end of this game, after the end of today, the Browns will have an idea on what their cards are, right, for the offseason, what hand they're being dealt for the offseason. You know, what pick do they have? Do they have a top 3 pick? Do they have a top 7 pick? They will have that information in their hand. And all offseason, they will be able to use that information to be able to decide what is the best path for them going forward. Do they have an opportunity to trade up for one of these 2 quarterbacks? If that opportunity is not there, is there an opportunity to trade for another quarterback that's a starting quality guy? Is there a free agent option that's available to you? The one thing I do know for sure is that the Browns aren't going to sit on their hands when it comes to quarterback. They're not just going to give this job to Shedeur. Shedeur's best hope is that they allow him to compete for the job next year. That's Shedeur's best hope, is that he gets a chance to compete for the job next year. It could most certainly not be the case that he gets the chance to compete for the job next year. But if you're Shedeur, given what you've put on the field, anybody telling you that you deserve to be the starter next year is just dick riding. Like, you have to earn the job next year, and you have to hope that you get an opportunity to compete for it. Thank you, Mob Forever, for another super chat. Like, that's just where you are. And the Browns have to operate like that. So, you know, at minimum, you got to bring in somebody you think can legitimately start, right? Worst case scenario, we're talking go after Malik Willis or God forbid, fucking Mac Jones or something like that. But you can't sit on your hands and do nothing at the quarterback position this offseason. And people are in there, well, Quincy never liked Shedeur. I like Shedeur in the draft. But what Shedeur has done over the course of this season, the evidence that he's put on the field, it simply has been disappointing from the perspective of anybody who thought he belonged anywhere near the first round, right? Like, if you had that perspective, which I did in the draft, what you have seen so far has been disappointing. Like, oh, okay, he looks like a third-round pick. The guy he reminds me the most when I watch him is Kenny Pickett. He reminds me a ton of Kenny Pickett. And I thought Kenny Pickett was overdrafted in the first round. Should have been a third-round pick. Made more sense as a third-round pick. I think Shedeur, maybe not a fifth-round pick, but he looks like a third-round pick. Like, just because I don't have a favorable opinion of him, just because I don't think that he's the guy, doesn't mean I hate the kid, right? But so many people get so sensitive about quarterback that they can't accept that their play has affected how people view him. And what we have seen is a horrific month of football in a month where he's played better competition. And then you look back at the games that you saw promise from, and those are from two teams that are below you in the draft order. With so many quarterback comebacks, why is Mac or Willis bad? Here's what I'm saying. You have to at least, when I say worst case scenario, you have to go after a Mac Jones or a Malik Willis. That is like the lowest level solution you can go to at quarterback in order to do anything that feels remotely satisfactory, right? Anything below Mac or Willis feels like a waste of fucking time, you know? So that's what I'm saying. That's the lowest bar of what you could go to. Thanks for trying to take this season, make this season feel sane. I'm not sure how different next year will be. It's always different. I'll say that, Ben Alone. It's always different. It's never the same, you know? So it will be different. But that's also like getting a wish from a genie and asking for it to be different. They will make it different, but it could be a monkey's paw, you know? You can get mad at me for not being like on the Shedeur train as much as you want to. I'm just at where reality is, brother. Like, that's where I'm at. Like, I feel like in order to be on the Shedeur train at this point, you have to be disconnected from reality to a certain extent. You just have to. Like, what are we seeing on the field that makes you think this is a future franchise quarterback? Even if he ends up, by all odds, becoming that, what are we seeing right now that gives you positive proof of that? It's just the reality of it. There's no true colors being revealed here. This is just what it's been with Shedeur. He's not been good. Like, hey, Q, Shedeur or Levis? Yeah, if we're making those decisions, RTC copyright, if we're choosing between Shedeur Sanders and Will Levis next year, we failed the offseason. You know, there's no point of acting like that's going to be successful. We failed the offseason because those aren't good enough options to give yourself. Yeah. Q, I would rather have Trinidad Chambliss over Sanders. I'm over the Sanders experience. I got to watch more Trinidad Chambliss, but what I have seen, I am skeptical of. But yeah, I'll wait till I get more viewing of him. I know we want to blame Shedeur, but the play calling is weird. We're forcing deep passes rather than, brother, he got sacked on mesh. What are we talking about? He got sacked 10 yards deep on fucking mesh. It's a 3-step drop. This is what I'm saying. Like, yeah, if you believe that, you can possibly say it's not Shedeur's fault. But believing that is so divorced from reality. No disrespect to you, but it's so divorced from reality because what we're watching is him getting sacked on short passing concepts, on quick hitters. He's going back 10 fucking yards and being late. Like, what are we talking about? And also, we're not talking about bringing back the coaching staff next year. We're assuming that they're going to be fired. People are talking about bringing back Shador. We got to talk about Shador. Y'all want to bring him back. We got to talk about it. Nobody's bringing back Kevin. Y'all want to bring back Shador. This is insane to me. Hopefully he has a better second half, but please, what we saw in the first half was all Shador. He was bad. He was bad, man. Like, why are we lying about it? Like, oh my goodness.
It's all of it. Run game, it's pass game. We have to find ways to keep our defense on the bench.
I wanted this 12 thing to work, but facts is facts. It is what it is, man.
The way we're battling.
I want the Browns to have a quarterback, but I can't lie myself into that being true. You know what I mean? I can't lie myself into that being true.
We got to stick to the plan.
I appreciate the super chat, Abdullah. I know you kind of set me off, but I don't mean that as frustration towards you. I'm just frustrated with the conversation in general. Little end around pass here to it's Corley, little handoff actually, and that'll get him ahead of the sticks. Hopefully this sets him up for a better set here. Austin says, Q, I know it's not a simple answer because there's a lot of things that need to change next year, but what do I like to see from the offense? What priorities besides quarterback need to be made? I will answer that question after this third down. We're going to get to a third and short here. Let's get to this third down. Yeah, I'll answer that question for you, Austin. Let me get to this super chat. Already got to that one. Did I miss? All right, so we got a couple of questions here. I'm gonna wait till after third down. What the fuck's going on?
The ball looks like they were trying to jockey for that football. The Bengals came up with it with battle.
Yeah, he wants to play cock reset.
Here's Sanders. Sanders.
It looks like all momentum was stopped. Whistles were blown.
Yeah, right there he went down.
But look at the tempo here by the Browns offense.
Yeah, they're gonna go to a quick tempo. This is where the Browns offense has had its best success, is in hurry up. Another run here for Sanders and stuffed. Browns gonna have to punt. Might as well fucking go for it. Why not? We suck.
Was the first one there. Dimitri.
Buckeye, I'm gonna get to your super chat in just a second. See if the Browns go for this fourth down.
Penetration down the middle there by Knight. I'm surprised the play wasn't changed once they solved that. I don't know if that's on quarterback or head coach, but they're coming out aggressive. They're going for this on fourth down. I wouldn't be surprised if it's the play action to keep
Get their 0 for 9 on fourth down.
Oh boy, Judy got it. All right, so Judy gets the first down. I get time to answer some of these questions. So I know it's not a simple answer, but a lot of things need to change. What do you need to see from the offense next year? One, I need to see variability from the run game. I need to see the Browns be able to run the ball out of different formations, different looks. I think that involves getting a lot better personnel, right? I think some of the reason why the Browns are so 12 heavy, regardless of who's healthy for the team, is because they don't trust their offensive line as the Browns break off another good run here. And I think that's been a huge problem for the Browns going forward. So being able to have an offensive line that can create some push so you can run the ball out of different formations, different sets, different personnel packages, I think will open up a lot for the offense. As far as like other things go, the passing game goes, I don't know if you're going to be able to get enough firepower offensively to be able to get like easy buttons, multiple easy buttons for a quarterback, but I do think you just need to be able to simplify it a little bit depending on who's going to be here next year. Sanders getting time to throw, and it's going to be a good ball. Nope, dropped. That was a good throw, though. Much better than anything he did in the first half of this game. It's a good ball. Canelo just drops it. But yeah, that's part of what I need to see there, right? Really would be happy with improvements to the run game, getting the pass game back to a solid place. Yeah, he just drops it. That's a good throw by Shador. It's his best throw of the day. All right. What does this offense have? What does he have on offense the last couple of weeks? No run games. Wide receiver sucks. Offensive line is awful. Like your stuff watching for Germany. Here's the thing. His pass blocking's been fine the last 3 weeks. Like the offensive line is like top 10 in pass block win rate. He's had an average time to throw of 350. You're not getting an average time to throw of 350 if your offensive line is fucking terrible in pass blocking. They've been fine in pass blocking. So I don't really buy that as an excuse. But if Shador's supposed to be the answer at quarterback, he should be able to make the most out of what he's had there. And I don't think he's made the most out of Jerry Jeudy. I don't think he's made the most out of Harold Faden. I think more could be had with those guys. Yeah, is he playing with a short hand? Sure. But some of the decisions he makes, also not really excusable because he's not playing with the best personnel. Let's see. 36, he drops back here. Much better decision to Cedric Tillman. All right, this is much more like the Shador that we want to see. That first half was fucking terrible. Hey, I watched my YouTube rap. It says over 600 of your videos this year. Appreciate you, V Buckeye. Just want to say thank you for all the hard work. Appreciate everything you do. Appreciate you. Sanders fans love to say he's better than Mendoza or more, but can't name one thing he does better than him. I'm not going to say that last part, but yeah, one Cleveland kid. It's just interesting when you see people use the stat lines from college to justify what is going on. Is the play dead? To justify saying that Shador's a better college quarterback than Mendoza. But then if you pull up his NFL stat lines and use the same exact stats they're using to say that, they say that you're ignoring context, which I think is kind of insane. CDM Jammer says you have to give Shador a chance. Replace the offensive line, tight end, running backs, grass, football, benches, waters, towels. That's a funny super chat. Jake says, shout out Mile High Browns backer, coach of the year, club of the year, not coach of the year, club of the year 2024. Shout out to y'all. Rocket Sanders running hard here. Browns on a 3rd and goal.
BJ Hill's a pro's pro. I played from the New York Giants, traded him at that time to the Bengals. The Bengals ended up going to the Super Bowl. He's been a key part of them, a captain, a leader, and he said they have a lot to fight for. Still, it's the Battle of Ohio, and when they go out the right way this season, they have great leadership like guys like that and a good core here in Cincinnati. You got Jeudy in the slot.
All right, 3rd and goal. Let's get the anytime touchdown to Jerry Jeudy, baby. Come on. Oh. What? Ain't no way we fucking taking a penalty. What the fuck is going on? How does that happen? How is the ball not get snapped, Shador?
You're right there. Shador didn't see the play clock or whatever.
How do you not see the fucking play clock? What are you talking about? It's not excusable.
But it makes it 3rd down in the low red zone.
All right, man. Just you score the fucking touchdown, please.
In a low red zone is really hard to pick up. You got to find your guy, Jared Jeudy. He's your best matchup if you get one-on-one coverage.
Off to the right. Williams in the backfield. Sanders takes the snap. He's going to keep it himself. He's wrapped up and taken down by Demetrius Knight, the outstanding rookie from South Carolina.
Demetrius Knight's not going to get defensive rookie of the year. That's Schlesinger, but he's up there. Look at him wrap underneath here. Shador Sanders sees the zone. He sees 2 eyes.
They've caught up to his things.
But in the NFL, these guys have a spot or they have somebody that's going to come find you.
That'll be the 4th sack of the day for the Bengals defense. Schmidt is on for the field goal attempt. 27-yarder. Good hold, and the kick is
Good Lord.
So the Browns do get points.
At least we got points out the drive, man.
Before Miles goes back on defense. I got to.
Denzel Ward officially downgraded to out. Cavs up 9 on the Pistons. I got to drop another Cavs video because I got to watch this game and then drop another Cavs video because they've started to turn it around lately. Ooh.
Everything. It's everything. If he did say it, he'd go.
Yeah, man, this is. We'll see what conversations we have all off season, but I just don't know. Sometimes it feels like I'm arguing with people who are living in a different world. Like, I think though, like, sure, South Canella could have caught that ball, but I think that highlights the big issue with Shador's game right now. It relies too much on big plays. Like, his game is entirely too reliant on big plays, and big plays just don't have a high rate of completion for a reason, because they're difficult to make on both ends of them. And with Shador, it's like so much of what he needs to survive in NFL are these spectacular plays, which means it raises the floor of what you need at these positions to be able to put something reasonable around him that he could be some level successful with. And that's like, if you can't operate the offense and make your life easier for you, you end up with these kind of problems where we're like, oh, he should have caught the ball, all this stuff out here, right? But I promise you, there are easier ways for him to get yards in this offense. We've seen it on film every week. We've looked at it, and that's been the issue. He can't really function on the meat and potatoes. He needs the gravy to survive, and nobody can live off gravy.
Couple weeks has been within a half sack of Michael Strahan and T.J. Watt's record for most sacks in the season.
All right, let's get a sack, Miles.
And put a lot of extra emphasis on this, but I feel like Miles.
But it is a much better drive for Shador. Probably, well, not even probably, by far his best drive of the game coming out the second half. So good job by him and the staff to get him in a much better position here. Look how often both like defensive lines are just standing straight up right now. It's kind of strange.
Yards for the season.
That Miles' mama.
Miles Garrett's mom, Audrey, showed you his dad, Lawrence, before with his camera. The two share an amazing passion.
He got a rookie, but he seemingly, okay, let me get to that super chat just a second.
They've done a great job of rounded human.
Yeah, 2nd and 6 here.
He has so many other interests other than football, but very well spoken.
Good jump by Miles here. They get rid of the ball quickly. All right, I get he's a rookie, but he seemingly went backwards, gotten worse, not better at anything. Plus his deep ball looks like a fly ball with no drive to it. I say sometimes it looks like a fly ball with no drive to it. I think the issue with his deep ball isn't that he doesn't have drive to it all the time. It's that if he doesn't have clean, like super clean feet, then he can't get drive behind it.
Then it takes a village.
You know, it takes a lot of downhill momentum for him to be able to throw the ball down and have drive to it. He can get air under it, though.
A false start on the right side here.
False start. No fan called for that penalty. Let's go to Amanda for more.
Yeah, I had a chance to talk to Miles' parents before the game, and I asked them, what's it like watching your son try to make history? And his mom said, it's still pretty surreal because to me, Miles will always be 5 years old. It's wild to watch him do the things he does, but they both said the same thing like you and Logan have been talking about. They've always instilled the importance of being a great person and having other interests Football is what you do. It's not who you are.
That's amazing to think about him at 5 years old, as big as he is right now. Burrow goes underneath. Close to
Maybe what, 2nd and 10?
45-yard line. It is true, though. I mean, when you raise children, sometimes you do see them at a younger age, even though they're these massive individuals.
Yeah, did you see him at the meeting? I mean, he's a pretty big 5-year-old, I'll tell you that. But I'll tell you what, both these offenses, they woke up a little bit here in the second half. Other than the false start, on this drive, the Bengals offense has been moving the ball, and it seems like Joe
All right, 2nd and 9.
has such a good feel on where Garrett's at and moving away from him and getting the ball out quickly.
Garrett's at the top of your screen. Tight end is going to try to deal with it. Burrow runs away from Garrett. He's
Oh, here it is. Oh,
got away and he slides
ran for his fucking life. Got a first down, though. Tyson Campbell back out there.
and you can hear the crowd sort of get to a crescendo.
Myles Garrett runs the race to go get Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow looks behind him. Oh no, it's like a horror movie. We talk about how Joe feels.
Nope.
Feels him right there, a little dead leg in the awkward slide on the end by Joe, but
Throw again. Trying to get it to Chase Brown.
They got to go for this, right?
Called. What do you got, Amanda?
And how fun is this, guys? I talked to Coach Taylor about Myles Garrett. He said he will continue to be a focus for us on every play because the minute we let up, he will wreck this game. He tried to do it right there.
You know, that's the part of it. The wrecking of the game. Miles even talked about that. How that's his goal. It's 4th down, 4th at about a yard.
now that the Bengals left the offense out here, they didn't do this in the first half, but now they're down 5 points. I agree with the decision by Zach Taylor.
Hey, they're running. They're running. They're running. Nope. Free run.
First down.
I thought they were running because they left Miles one-on-one right there. If Miles doesn't get this sack this season, we'll feel like we watched all this BS for nothing. It felt like last season.
He finds his pass-catching tight end, Jasicki, right here, kind of frees up there. Safety was a little bit too far off. Linebacker, that is. He's always going to give you a celebration. He's got a green also. That's not the prettiest, but Jasicki is known for his celebration.
One of the many Penn State tight ends that are littering the National Football League. Down, Brown tries to explode to the right. Maybe 2 on that play. Sean Jenkins came up to make the tackle.
Tom, I believe for the first time, Garrett's not on the field. But sideline catching a breath. Most D linemen, especially pass rush, do not play every single play of the game. They maybe play 2/3 of the game. He's been in every single snap. It is exhausting rushing against 6'8", 350-pound tackles, wrestling every single play.
All right, 2nd and 8.
So Myles Garrett's saving it here, maybe for 3rd down.
Considering the Bengals 45 plays now.
Oh,
To the 29.
Delpit.
Burrow is sacked by Grant Delpit. First sack of the day for the Browns.
All right. It's so interesting when like somebody other than Miles gets a sack. We're like, ah, damn.
And if Cincinnati is a loss of
They bring the pressure and watch Delpit come all the way down from the right side. He sneaks in here off the edge, unblocked, not able to sort it out.
That's a quick pressure there.
They trick Joe Burrow there. No Myles Garrett on the field. They kind of get lackadaisical and then they give up a sack.
All right, 3rd and 17. They're probably going to screen this.
five is back in the game.
Bengals are wasting a lot of time, though, on offense.
Brown over to his side of the field. Burrow to Higgins. So a little razzle dazzle to Brown. A stiff arm out of bounds. Back to the original line of scrimmage. Let's check in with Adam Shaw.
Yeah, they're wasting a lot of time. They're taking up a lot of time on offense, not getting points.
Third total touchdown
That Riley Leonard.
for Riley Leonard. How about this? 24-23. Colts leading Houston back to you.
Philip Rivers is dressed today, but he's not active. Riley Leonard getting a chance to play in the final game for the Colts. The Bengals will pump this one away. Marvidan is back deep to receive. Each team with a possession in the second half so far.
Catching it within the 10. Awesome. Great job there, man. Yeah, I mean, it could be worse. It could be at the 1, I guess. All right, Shador. Let's build off that good drive that you had in the second half. Let's build off that and see what you do here. All right. Let's get a check on our sleeper picks so far. Let's see where we at. We want to join the fun, get 100% match on up to $100. Again, 100% on up to $100 when you use the promo code Worst Take here. All right, so we're still waiting on the Myles Garrett sack. Jerry Jeudy anytime touchdown is not hidden. The Shador Sanders passing yards, it looks bleak. Hopefully he can muster up about 120 more passing yards. Don't know how he's going to do that at the pace of this game. No rushing yards for Shador, but 13 and a half is all he needs, so he can get that in like 2 runs. But it does look like the Chase Brown's going to hit, so, you know, there's that. Chase Brown with 57 rushing yards. Sanders is much better talent, but the way he's playing, he'll be out the league faster than DG. I only think that's true just because Dylan Gabriel can stay in the league based on like coaches liking him, right? It's not really about talent when you're talking about like 3rd string practice squad guys, fringe backups. So yeah, maybe, but I think that's an entirely different conversation. You know what I mean?
23 yards. Shador Sanders fumbled there. Howard Cross picked it up. Sanders did not have a lot of action in the first half. Chase Brown did score. He's over 1,000 yards, but so did Devin Bush and a 97-yard interception return for a touchdown. Myles Garrett still looking for that record-breaking sack. He'll get a breather now. Sanders and the Browns go.
All right, let's be smart here. Run the ball a lot again.
The backfield. Off his best series so far today. He's rolling the pocket. Throws on the run. He hits his tight end, Brendan Bates. All right, give me an idea of Shador today.
Started off in the first half here. It seemed like the Bengals defense had a good jump on what Shador is trying to do. Look at these tight windows. Free safety comes out the middle of the field. Second half, they implement the tempo. And look at these throws. Much easier. I love how the scheme and the adjustments.
All right, 2nd and 4 here.
The quarterback play easier for Shador.
There you go. Stay ahead of the sticks.
He's got a first down up across the 20-yard line.
Dylan Sampson, another rookie.
Yep.
That they have everyone that's getting the ball or touching the ball are rookies in this Browns team. Andrew Berry and the Browns did a great job in this draft of picking a lot of impact players at the rookie position. And that's only going to bode well for you in the future.
Yeah, they hit on a lot of different players. They did a lot of extra research. Sampson being one.
Isaiah Bond down here we haven't mentioned yet. He's also a rookie wide receiver.
Yeah, he has been targeted today. Sampson.
Ready to string it out, Sam.
Explodes, and Sampson
Good run.
sidelines out of bounds after a first down. Warren Burks.
Browns run game coming alive here in the second half too.
Clock is winding down under 30 seconds to play. They do not have to run a play.
They should though. They're going to run the ball.
And I wouldn't if I was Kevin Stefanski. I would shorten the game here. You have the lead. You know Joe Burrow's on the other side. Don't stop
Yeah,
the
they're
ball
gonna
here. If you do line
they're
up,
gonna take this to the quarter break here. All right, we want some updates around the league. Let's go ahead and give you those updates. The Cowboys down 10-24 to the Giants. So it looks like the Giants might win that game. If the Browns would lose, that would jump the Browns ahead of the Giants in the draft order. Now, I do believe the Giants winning does lock in the Raiders to the #1 pick. Correct me if I'm wrong there. I believe that does lock in the Raiders to the #1 pick. I can look on Tankathon real quick, but I think the only team that can take the #1 pick from the Raiders is the Giants, because the Giants have a lower strength of schedule. The Jets could end up with 3 wins, and the Raiders could win and end up with 3 wins, but it looks like the Raiders are going to maintain a strength of schedule advantage by a slim margin. Let's see something. I can look at the strength of schedule tie-breaking page. If you're the Jets and you want the Raiders, yeah, it looks like if the Jets lose versus Buffalo and Las Vegas win, both finish. Yeah, so Vegas already has clinched a tiebreaker. So if over the Jets. So if the Raiders game doesn't matter anymore. But the Giants, if they maintain this lead against the Cowboys, will kind of lock the Raiders into the #1 overall pick. So if you're looking for how the results of these games in the 1 o'clock window are going to affect the conversation about trading up, this would lock the Raiders into #1, which was about 80% likely coming into this week. Now, if you want the Browns to get as high as possible, right? Titans look like they're going to lose. So the Titans are going to stick to, the Titans can't win strength of schedule either. So the Titans look like they're going to lose. So you're probably talking about earliest you could pick is 3rd. You want the Jets to beat the Bills and the Cardinals to beat the Rams. If those 2 things happen, then the Browns jump to 3, which would make trading up a lot easier. Obviously, the Browns have to lose to the Bengals, which right now they're driving on the field and on the verge of a 2-score lead in the 4th quarter.
We're back in our New York studios. It's been an entertaining game, a very different game than I think.
If the Browns win, they're locked in at 7.
But the offense is heating up. This is a huge quarter for Shador to handle this. You know Joe Burrow's going to have something to say about it down the stretch.
Off the play fake, Shador. He'll run the
There you go. Get the rushing yards.
Dives forward. Be careful about that. Dives forward, but it does get him closer to the 1st down.
All right, we're at the 9 rushing yards. Need 4 to hit the parlay.
He said he's been pleasantly, I want to say surprised, but happy with Shador's mobility, because when they kind of struggle running the ball, the quarterback really helps them. Shador is averaging about 30, 35 rushing yards a game.
What a drastic change from the 1st half. They had 36 yards. They had 91 in the 2nd half.
You hear him say Candy, he's throwing the first play in the trash can, going to the 2nd play call.
He's got some blockers trying to get away. And he's got the
Oh, Dylan Sampson's contact balance. Save that.
He got away from Miles Murphy to get that 1st down.
Shador changes the play to a toss play on the perimeter. Well defended by the Bengals, but look at the effort. Yes, it's a 2-yard gain, but it moves the sticks. Why sit there and see 3rd and 1 if you can pick it up on 2nd down? Great individual effort there by Sampson.
Sampson 6 carries, 21 yards.
The Bengals start bringing pressure, knowing that Shador's kind of getting in rhythm and playing really well in the 2nd half.
After the 2nd half, Sanders has time. He throws, he spins, he throws. It was nearly intercepted.
That's his 4th one.
Adam.
5th one.
Shador had plenty of time.
He is begging to throw an interception today.
But Demetrius Knight, the standout rookie, able to kind of bang Shador's arm there.
At least this one's on a decision I can understand, though.
Looks like we got an injured.
Luke Whippler, I don't know who the fuck the backup is, man. I know they signed somebody, but I don't think he's active. Zach Zinter about to play center.
time you make a move, make sure it's a power move. Switch to Total Wireless with the full power of America's best 5G network. And get iPhone 16e with Apple Intelligence on us. One of the best iPhone 16e deals in prepaid. Now that's a total power move.
Rates on our
Oh man.
Navy Federal Credit. Our members
Starts with first away. Okay, that was close for the camera. Keep my energy right. Number 7.
Buffalo Wild Wings meat sticks for $19.99 is the perfect meal for two. I am a burger loving buffalo with wings. I've never seen a naked model like you in my entire life. Oh, I get that a lot. You should see my 6 meal for two for $19.99.
To represent 25 years of the greatest adventure on television. Is this
Second down and 10. The Bengals fans to help Miles Garrett without a sack with them down by 5. Sanders, center. Pass to did a nice job making that reception. Then turning upfield.
I like the idea from Tommy Reese and Kevin Stefanski to switch it up, force the Bengals secondary to tackle. This Bengals defense has been one of the worst tackling defenses in the NFL. So putting them in a position to do what they're worst at, I like that idea.
best friend? When we talk about on the defensive side, Al Golden. Does he decide?
3rd and 2 here.
On Shador, to not let him get comfortable.
Now the Browns have a backup center and who's never played.
They're floating around it.
3rd and 2. Sanders will keep it himself.
Ooh, is that the 14 for the parlay?
46-yard line. Excellent decision on his part not to put it into the belly of the running back.
I don't think people tab him the most mobile quarterback coming out of college, but
I think that might be enough.
the ability to make plays.
Is that 4?
Now he's got to make number 22 stone miss. He breaks that
1,
tackle.
2, 3, 4.
There. If he keeps his feet, he's running much longer, but beautiful decision. Great athletic ability by Shador Sanders.
And again with a 5-point
I think that might be enough.
chains.
All right, now Jerry Jeudy anytime touchdown.
The backfield is poorly. We've seen him in the backfield a couple of times.
Got a reverse.
Yeah, we got a little reverse. They give it to Bond. He's got a
Yeah, it wasn't successful.
Bond.
Bet 50 push-ups the Browns win this. I'm not betting 50 fucking push-ups on this goddamn game. Have you lost your mind? I don't give a fuck.
Saves a big one there, but I love Stefanski's
50
ability.
push-ups. You lost your mind.
Switching it up. Now you're seeing some of the screens.
Looks like Loop's being taken to the back of the game
You mentioned it, Tom. The third center.
in the cart.
For a quarterback, that center-quarterback relationship so important. Having 3 of them is really tough. That's tough for a young quarterback especially.
Down at 6. They hand it off to Sampson. Stood up by Hill.
3rd and 5.
Yard. 3rd down.
And this is a critical 3rd down here for the Bengals. Both sides. The Browns have came out completely won this half. Shador's comfortable. They're moving the ball. Joe Burrow got a lot of chances in the first half. Been on the bench a little bit more now. But the Bengals defense out going to need to step up and force the Browns upon them.
All right, let's convert.
Browns, get close to it. Go for it on 4th down and 5.
I would with it being week 18.
I think you go for
I don't want Joe Burrow back on the field. I definitely would go for it. You got to pick up a couple yards here.
probably a screen here.
Backfield next to
No screen.
pressure's coming. Sanders
Oh boy.
incomplete.
That's down. 4th and 5.
Intercepted. It was deflected by they're so happy to have him back with Cincinnati. It's been an up and down rookie season for him.
So they did go screen here.
Missing get off by Shamar Stewart there. Wow, he's in the backfield in a flash. Shador's fortunate this wasn't a turnover, but I don't know what happened. Maybe
They're punting.
the other center in the game now. Center didn't notice the twist in the stunt, but Shamar Stewart was let free on that.
What are you talking about? How you gonna blame that on the center? It's a slip screen.
Way.
He's got to just get on his heels and throw it.
Marquez is trying to
He just beat the guy to the spot.
inside the 10, and he does.
Like, all right, Browns defense getting the ball. Bengals gonna be, well, the Browns defense getting this set here. What, the Bengals backed up within their own 9. So we'll see what happens. What do I want to talk about tomorrow? I'm trying to formulate some of my videos here. Oh yeah, we're doing the Q&A. Let me make sure that is ready to pop up in about an hour.
The leadership of this captain. Captain.
January 4th. All right. That UFC on Paramount Plus hasn't started yet?
The NFL playoffs kick off next Saturday with Wild Card Weekend powered by Verizon. 12 teams, 6 games, 3 days, 1 epic weekend. The road to Super Bowl 60 starts here. Stay tuned after the games today for the announcement of the full schedule. And of course, that Ravens fan is thankful for the Cleveland Browns because they knocked off the Steelers last week, which means tonight's game between the Steelers and the Ravens is ultra important.
Win and you're in.
Burrow and the Bengals down 5. Myles Garrett, bottom of your screen. Burrow from the goal line. Gives off to Chase Brown. Not much running room.
All right, that'd be 2nd and 8.
Down on the sidelines.
Yeah, guys, we talked to Miles and Coach Stefanski about the pressure that builds game by game, now quarter by quarter.
As bad as we are, I missed this game in the season end.
Number 23.
Appreciate the super chat, Alex.
The one coming everyone else down. They're also amped up for him. They wanted him to get it out of the way early. That obviously didn't happen. But he said, I know I can't force this. And that's the message I've been giving to the guys as well. He has total confidence, though, that by the end of this game, he will be the new record holder.
Yeah. Stefanski told us that Miles, he's in the stratosphere all to his own.
In the stratosphere. Look where he's lined up right now. Directly. Yeah, he's moving out, picking his spots.
Burrow trying to run away. Burrow is going to run away for a few
A
yards.
broken play there.
At the first down marker, he wasn't going to go right because that's where Garrett was, and he decided to go left.
Miles has lined up on that side all game long. And the moment he's not, he notices, well, I don't know what the play is. Plan B, run where Myles Garrett isn't.
Yeah, broken play there.
Myles Garrett's going to be unanimous Defensive Player of the Year. He's having a dominant season. And yes, he doesn't have a sack yet today, but they also held the Bengals to 12 points, and the defense has scored twice.
Down, Burrow drops back to pass. Underneath, gives it to Brown.
Ooh,
Brown,
good hit.
one defender, spins to the 25. Baker.
Better get the Bengals ahead of the sticks, though, at about a 2nd and 6.
But there's going to be a point in this game, Tom, where Joe Burrow's going to drive the ball downfield and stand in the pocket, and find Jamar Chase and find T. Higgins, and it's going to give Myles Garrett an honest pass rush. I know you want to get away quickly to your back every time you feel him close, but similar to the Steelers last week, it doesn't generate enough points to win. They need more than 12 to win. He's got to drive the ball downfield.
Tight ends are on the right side. That means Garrett's by himself. They hand it off to Brown.
That'll be the parlay for Chase Brown.
Went over 1,000 yards earlier. Tackled by Tyson Campbell after another first down.
Chase Brown's had a career year, and it looks like his future's extremely bright.
Oh,
A
yeah.
perfect fit in this offense. He can run routes out the backfield. He's a quick one-cut runner, and obviously going over 1,000 yards, nearing 500 yards receiving. He's in rare air, something that the Bijan Robinson, the Christian McCaffrey, the Alvin Kamara's type of backs.
Burrow tell us, he said the thing that was impressive to him is that he is such a critical thinker about the game. Burrow gets rid of it quickly as T. Higgins.
Again, the Bengals drive here is going to take up a lot of time. They're not even past the 50. There's really not that much time left in the game.
Good to have, isn't he? Like every time you throw it to him, he doesn't get the most opportunities like some other number one wide receivers in the NFL, but when he gets it, he makes the most of it.
Well, we talked about how quick Joe Burrow has been. Under 2.5 seconds, he's completed 10 passes. That's amazing. Even a hair over 2.5 is amazing.
I mean, he's efficient. Any way you want to put it, he's efficient, he's accurate.
Couple for first down. Burrow has the first down.
Again, a very slow-moving drive here for Cincinnati.
We got to shout out Jim Schwartz, by the way. How great this defense is playing, how great they played with how little they had on offense this year. He definitely should be throwing up some head coaching conversations. Myles Garrett said he believes that Jim Schwartz will be one pretty soon because he's that good. And this defense has played that well this year. They've been special.
All right, 6:40 left.
Defensively.
Garrett told us he's been exceptional as a leader and as a man. He leads on and off the field. Bengals will hand the ball off. Brown.
There's Chase Brown
Is really churning
up
He's
the middle.
inside.
The Bengals have had multiple drives like this where it looks like they're churning upfield, they're going to score points, and then they stall out at like the 40 or 30-yard line. They've also gotten very poor field goal kicking today from their kicker.
Efficient. It's hard for a pass rusher, Myles Garrett, to play every single snap like this. Look how wide he is. But he's going for it here.
Yeah, he's curling around. Burrow's looking to the outside.
Turn around.
Burrow has an incomplete intended for T. Higgins.
Good job by 20.
D'Angelo Ross.
D'Angelo Ross filling in adamantly for Denzel Ward here. He is one-on-one with T. Higgins. There's no tougher position to be in the NFL. He does a good job of staying on top of T, also getting his head back. Look how he has his head back there.
Good job. Got his arm up.
Couldn't defend that any better. But guess what? The nature of playing corner, they might just run that play again on you. That's how hard it is that from time to time.
They got Jamar Chase on Grant Delpit. Interesting. 22 in the backfield.
There he is.
Burrow underneath with the pressure coming. But it's a first down.
I don't know if that's a first down.
As Hickman makes
It's going to be short.
getting rid of this football fast.
Look at Myles Garrett. He lines up as a linebacker. Beats P. Ryan. P. Ryan couldn't even touch him in tag right there. We talked about how he needs to move where he's at. He's not picked up so easily. He just lined up 5 yards off the ball at the linebacker position and still got in the back.
Hard to
They gave him the first.
It's not like he's playing hide and go seek. Down.
Here we go. Here we go. Miles got it. Miles got it.
Is a record that is
There it is.
a century as a new leader is 30-year-old Myles Garrett.
There it is.
NFL record 23rd sack of the year. Passing Michael
There it is. Your new sack leader,
of the all-time
Myles Garrett. Joe Burrow felt it coming. Was nothing he could do about it.
It's been inevitable for him this season. Utter dominance. We're in post-Aaron Donald era football, and Myles Garrett's the best defensive player in football. He separated himself this year. I think the entire crowd is on their feet. You know how hard of a feat that is.
In this season of all seasons to set that record.
Standing for 20 plus years.
Amazing.
Amazing.
See the reaction from
Instant Hall of Famer. As he gets a well-deserved breather.
down at 16. It's a loss of 6. Burrow underneath the Brown. Trying to make a couple of men miss. Cannot.
Another drive where it looks like it's going to stall out for Cincinnati.
Jenkins make the tackle. Mom and dad, his brother, his sister, all celebrating.
Myles Garrett, he just
Gets to get off there.
to be that big.
Joe Burrow feels it. Nothing he can do there. All right, let's just take the sack and give him the fucking reward.
Burrow can't do anything about that one. Myles Garrett had to though this year. He had to earn that record, and look at him back on the field for more.
He wants some breathing room now. Burrow rolls the pocket on 3rd down. He has time. He's under pressure.
Oh, he almost got 24.
He'll try to dance his way. Throws it towards.
Jeez, what is Joe doing?
4th down. And with 3:56 to play, they're going to pump the ball away.
Joe Burrow trying to make one of those circus plays and almost threw his second pick 6 of the game.
Amazing. He was on such a rapid pace. There's some people that thought he could have eclipsed this 5 weeks ago. How about that? There's so much emotion even from Jim Schwartz and the rest of the coaching staff. As you mentioned before.
All right, Ali, you timed out for that one, brother. Yeah, 10-minute timeout for you, brother. That was crazy. That was crazy.
5-point lead for the Browns. A little history. Myles Garrett has the all-time record for sacks in an NFL season. Time to celebrate for
Michael Parsons calling Myles Garrett an OG makes me not like that. I don't think Myles Garrett is OG. He's not old, man. Don't like him calling him OG. But he does get the sack record. We knew it was only a matter of time here that he was going to get that record. So happy for Myles. I mean, obviously a well-deserved award. Now we got 5 minutes left in the game. The Browns have a chance to close this one out and end with the W to be in this to end the season with a W. We'll see what they end up doing here. Only up 5. The offense has been hot and cold this game. I will say the run game has come alive over the last couple of drives here.
back here in Cincinnati, where the Browns have a 5-point lead. Myles Garrett has the sack record, and there's smiles everywhere. And if you don't think this is how his teammates feel about him, they're carrying him on the sideline. That is a massive human that they're carrying.
The team wanted it for him. It's a team record as well. They play so well alongside him, and they know he's so deserving of a guy. Good moment to see.
Just get the fucking ball off.
Sampson. The Browns also want to try to milk this clock. Back one more time.
Yeah, 2 runs and a throw.
Watch the route that he takes to get to the backfield.
Around the edge, he dips the shoulder as you're taught. And we asked him the art of pass rushing. What's the one thing you would teach about? He said, get off.
Yep.
Watch the ball, have a great start. It looked like he won off the get off there. And look how much it means. A weight lifted off his shoulders. He's a football historian. He knows that his name will be etched above the rest. And he wants to be known as the greatest to do it when his career is done.
He wants to wear that jacket at some point.
He's got that jacket locked up.
Second down, off the play fake. Sanders will throw. Sanders is in trouble. Sanders breaks away, and he is nailed. TJ Slayton was the first.
Talent ain't worth the noise. Please move on from Shador. I don't even think if it's a talent versus noise conversation. Like if we're just objectively reviewing what he's done over his starts, right? 7 starts. We gave Dylan Gabriel a closed book after 5 starts, right? We're talking about 7 starts for Shador. It doesn't even matter if there's noise around him. It's just not been good enough.
Fans, everybody was getting involved. This is a really cool celebratory moment down here.
I wonder if the Browns just run it here to try to take time off the clock. Because they don't want Shador to accidentally take a safety or something like that. And put this game within field goal.
You're going to stop here. You're going to get decent field position if you're the Bengals.
Steve from French Harvest Money. Appreciate you with the $10 super chat.
Has to push the ball downfield and try to pick this up. You see the empty formation here. All these Bengals at the line of scrimmage.
Williams out of the backfield is in motion. Sanders from his end zone rolls to the right. Sanders is going to have to run this one. And he'll get to the 15-yard line a little bit past it. But shot.
Well, that'll get his rushing yards to hit, but his passing yards are so low right now. We're not going to hit on that parlay unless this game somehow goes into a 5-point overtime.
Everything was covered up, but I do like that Shador Sanders stayed in bounds. By him staying in bounds there, it makes the Bengals use one of their timeouts. Now, with one timeout and Joe Burrow, that shouldn't be the biggest issue. But smart by Shador not throwing the ball away, at least make the Bengals use that timeout.
Yeah, he still Kevin Stefanski just go punt, because the offense did stay on the field, but that would be
A little too aggressive. Yeah, on your own 18-yard line, that might be a little too aggressive, even in Madden.
Yeah. Williams back deep to receive for the Bengals. Joe Burrow will have plenty of time and one timeout. Down by 5. Trying to close out the year with a victory. Well, Horquez, we mentioned, is the busiest punter in the National Football League. But he's busy today. This will be his 5th punt. Williams assessing. He's going to try to return it. A couple extra yards.
Hey, ball at the 40, so they get really good field position.
Let's see if Cincinnati can come from behind. We already have one moment off the board. That's Myles Garrett, the all-time leader in sacks in NFL season.
All right, so let's check in with some of our picks for today. Brought to you by Sleeper. Make sure if you want a 100% match on $100, up to $100, use the promo code Worst Take. All right, Myles Garrett at 1 sack. I got him at 1.5 over, so I need him to get another one to hit. But this Jerry Jeudy anytime touchdown and Shador being at 78 passing yards probably going to kill this ticket. If I'm being honest with you, Shador 26 rushing yards, should have just kept it simple with the rushing yards. But did not keep it simple, got greedy. And Chase Brown with 72 rushing yards puts both of those in the over category. If we're checking scores around the league with the Sleeper app, we could check the scores. Cavs down 3 to the Pistons in the third quarter. And then you have Saints Falcons. Now, I do believe the Falcons win. That sends the Panthers to the playoffs. If the Saints win, that sends the Buccaneers to the playoffs. Both teams that will be eligible to win the NFC North will be under 500 this year. The Cleveland Browns are up 17-12. Obviously, it's a game we're watching. Cincinnati has the ball right now. The Colts versus Texans. The Texans are down 1 point. Jaguars putting belt to ass against the Titans, 41-7. Packers and Vikings are in the fourth quarter. Vikings up 16 against the Packers. Pretty expected result given that the Packers are not playing any of their starters right now. I think they're not even playing Malik Willis right now. I think, who's at quarterback for them? Who is at quarterback for the Packers right now? Let's look that up. Yeah, they're playing Clayton Tune at quarterback, so not even Malik Willis. They're willing to risk. Giants up 24-17. Now, this is an interesting game to watch. If the Giants win, the Browns will jump them in the draft order if they lose to the Bengals. If you want the Browns to be able to trade up, though, you might want the Giants to lose this game to the Cowboys because they're the only team that can possibly jump the Raiders for the #1 overall pick. If you're looking to try to be able to have that avenue available to you. We'll see what happens here. The Giants look like they're pretty close to scoring and putting this game away, though.
The Bengals down by 5. Left Burrow begins. Dump it off to Sample, his tight end. He's got plenty of time left on the clock. And Sample gets up to the 47-yard line. Diabate was the first one.
Here we go. The record's out the way. We got some meaningful football left for these two. You got Joe Burrow in a 2-minute situation. 2-minute warning coming up.
Don't forget McPherson's missed 2 extra points. This would be a different game.
Oh, T dropped it.
Hang on. That pass was broken up by Ross.
All right, 3rd and 2 here. They're going to have to snap it before the 2 minutes.
And he's had to fill in. And look at this. We talk about T. Higgins in his hands. When he
Great job fighting through. Might have something in this number 20.
To punch it out. That's Ross's second big PBU against T. Higgins today.
3rd down and 2. You looking at a little underneath pass here to Chase Brown or something in that area?
You are. You're going to see them one-on-one matchups. I see Jamar Chase, top of the screen there, one-on-one. He's always a guy I like to get the ball to, but this is obviously four-down territory for the Bengals.
Ryan, who's in the backfield on 3rd down. Burrow. Lost it for Chase. He makes the catch. Wow, what great control. He was in front of Ross, and he's got the first down. We have reached the 2-minute warning. We still got it.
Bengals driving. How long does it take to get my name on Patreon? We'll put it on I'll put it on the videos that start tomorrow. I do an update at the end of every weekend, or at least I try to get an update in. Obviously, with it being the holidays, it's kind of thrown things off. So it will be on by Monday.
For an elf, the holidays are stressful. Verizon's got a bunker seal on the Samsung Galaxy S25. The Gemini wasn't string coming.
All right. Bengals got the ball on the 40, but they need a touchdown. Luckily for them, they don't need an extra point because their kicker's been dog shit today. I don't know what's been going on with him. He's missed both extra points.
in by Uber Eats. When football makes you hungry, order Uber Eats.
Coming up next on CBS, you can count on the NFL playoff picture coming into focus. The Broncos look to wrap up the #1 seed in the AFC with a win over the Chargers. Eagles try to cement their NFC postseason seeding, and the Bills play their final regular season game at Highmark Stadium, a place that you played so many games at. Here, it's the Bengals down by 5, moving the ball with 2 minutes to play.
All right, Miles with another pressure.
Burrow just dumps it off. Pressure was coming not only from Myles Garrett, but also Mason Graham. Here is the AFC playoff.
Yeah, let's see what Mason Graham does here on the inside guard. Just really does a good job of releasing and getting his hands, just getting off the block there.
Into the balance. One of the more pressing things is Baltimore and Pittsburgh later on tonight.
Winning they're in, that's a beautiful dynamic. I'll tell you what, you know I'm a former Patriot, but this year it is wide open. It is wide open of a playoffs you've ever had it. It's so interesting to see how this all seeds up and how it goes next week in the wild card.
Colts have taken a 1-point lead over the Texans. Jacksonville was up big in their
2-minute drill, 50-50 ball. Ooh, T. Higgins got it
He had Ross on him again.
at the 25.
Able to make the catch and hold on.
We mentioned the problems of being an NFL corners. You can have a PPU, but then you got to go guard T. Higgins again. Right? Now it's just another play. Ross does everything he can here. T. Higgins just too big, too strong, and great ball placement. Great coverage every play.
17-yard gain. 1:52 to play. Clock is stopped.
With the one time out in their pocket, plenty of time here for Joe Burrow and this Bengals offense.
Burrow sets up in the pocket, throws to the middle.
Ooh, what a throw.
Chase breaks a tackle to 5. Down to the 4-yard line. He almost
What a throw to Jamar Chase.
What a release.
That was a tight window.
One knows where the other is at all times.
We asked Joe when it's man-to-man across the board, who do you decide to throw to? T or Jamar? He says, I know what they do well. I know Jamar Chase runs across the field really well. Look at him break inside on Ross, and he catches in traffic, and then he becomes a running back. Look at him lower his shoulder there.
Whew.
If he had some teammates, I wouldn't be surprised if he was pushing to the end zone. But he is great inside the numbers.
All right, 134 left.
For the NFL Today update delivered by Little
Bengals on the goal line here.
JB and the guys will have the latest NFL scores and highlights. And speaking of time, the Browns just called a timeout because they understand if the Bengals score a touchdown, they need time on their side.
I wouldn't be surprised if the Bengals ran the ball one time, use up some clock here, not score too quickly, or see if they make Cleveland burn another one of their timeouts. Interesting on both sides.
Chase Brown checks back into the game in the backfield for the Bengals. 72 yards on the ground. Burrow to throw again. Burrow dances to the end zone. Chase, he's
Yeah, Jamar Chase.
hangs on.
And the Bengals to take the lead here. If you're Cincinnati, you're already going to have a 1-point lead. You got to stay on the field here and go for 2 to try to get that 3-point lead. It looks like they will do that, and they're going to stay on the field and go for 2 here.
Backup corners in all game. The Bengals wide receiver and Joe Burrow have been here too many times. You get the one-on-one matchups, Jamar Chase. He just breaks it outside. Look at the strong hands.
Got to be careful. You can't turn it over on a 2-point conversion and let a score happen, though.
This guy has records along with Randy Moss. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase has been good. So long they've been doing it since the LSU days.
Yeah, that's 3 touchdown passes for Joe Burrow. They are reviewing it to make sure there's also an injured player.
Watch his hand.
Field. It's Sam Webb.
When does he come down with it? 1, 2, that's a touchdown.
48 touchdown from Burrow to Jamar Chase. It's the most of any duo in the National Football League since 2021. As you said, they've been doing it since the LSU days.
Just chemistry you can't teach. Chemistry you can't teach. The Browns are a man-to-man team. That means they're going to try to isolate you up one-on-one. That's what the Bengals do with their receivers. They're just better on that drive.
All right, so we talked about this before about chasing points. They're going to go for 2 here to try to make it a
Touchdown, keep the sack record.
They got to get these 2 points back. And here it is. I always identify how many safeties
I have to believe Miles has more sacks himself than the Bengals do all season.
Go to your one-on-one matchups on the outside.
have one-on-one matchups on the outside. Burrow looking at one of those. goes to the middle.
Good job by Grant.
Grant Delpit broke it up.
So the Browns can win this game with the field goal.
And it's a 1-point lead for Cincinnati.
It'll be hilarious if this game comes down to a field goal, right? Bengals wouldn't have to go for 2 if they just make their extra points in this game. Burrow might as well be Thanos with a full gauntlet against our backup DBs. I mean, like, to be fair to the backup DBs, it wasn't easy for Joe. Joe had to make some pretty difficult plays to get downfield there. So it wasn't easy for him.
Not won back-to-back games, 34 consecutive games. They're on a list with the Titans. Don't want to catch
The Bengals have scored 3 touchdowns in this game and have not made a single extra point. Such a strange dynamic here.
What it's like to be an NFL corner. What about an NFL quarterback? 22 years old. You got Aaron Rodgers 1 week down the stretch. On the next week, you got a 4-quarter battle against Joe Burrow. Life in the big leagues. Shador's belief in himself.
Shador's like 24, man.
Manufacturer comeback win here.
Turn it. They do. Trying to get some extra space. It's Williams. And they'll move the pile. And here comes Shador Sanders. Down by 1. 23 to play. 2 timeouts.
He's played well in the second half.
Browns have 2 timeouts, so I think they're going to start this drive out by running the ball. Screens, short stuff here.
Everything's open. He can throw the ball in the middle of the field. He can throw the ball to the sideline. Every play in the playbook's open, even a short screen play. Open, but you got to start a 2-minute drive off with a positive first play to get it rolling.
Schmidt, by the way, season high is 55 yards. 5 of 6 for 50.
They motioned out Bond. That's where his eyes are, and they will miss the first throw to Dylan Sampson.
It'll be second down.
I have to imagine he was he was intentionally throwing that one in the dirt to stop, make sure the clock didn't go.
You know you have all 4 downs now to pick up first down. So it's not the worst play to kind of go at his feet on that one.
Yeah.
Then the clock stays at 119.
You're able to save your timeout.
One-on-one coverage at the bottom of your screen.
Second down at 10.
You're going to put Judy in motion, and they're going to sack him. Can't do that. Got to use the timeout now. Are we not going to use the timeout?
And depending on where the spot is, that could be the 6th sack of the day.
I definitely would expect you to use the timeout here. It's 3rd down. He's trying to save him, but you got to get a good play here. You don't want to put yourself in a 4th and long.
Well, plus there's too much time going off the clock. Pressure again. Sanders to the sideline. Pass is complete.
Hey, worked out.
It's Isaiah Bond.
49 seconds.
The rookie-to-rookie connection there, Isaiah Bond. First target of the game. Remember, Shador Sanders played better on the tempo. Maybe that's why they didn't use the timeout. But look at the delivery there. One of the best balls of the day by Shador.
All right.
Now they're operating with both their timeouts.
Got out that 3rd and 10 hole.
Need another about 30 yards here to get field goal range.
Schmidt warming up his leg. 49 seconds left. 2 timeouts. Sanders, middle of the field is short. Again, there was traffic there, but it wasn't a great pass. Now it'll be
2nd and 10.
Intended for Tillman.
It looks like the Bengals have not brought any pressure on this drive. They're just rushing 4 rushers, dropping in zone coverages. That means that the offensive line got to be able to block 4, and Shador's got to stay patient, deliver accurate passes down the field. He has plenty of time here to pick up what's needed.
He just went over and sent something to Judy. Judy will be at the top of your screen. Number 3.
Because Super Chat, Miles has 23 sacks.
Expect some down the middle of the field.
The Browns.
Sampson underneath. Now Sampson gets along the sidelines and is out of
Miles has 23 sacks. The Browns have scored 23 plus 3 times this season.
With both their
Thank you for the Super Chat, Sean.
Right, it's a 3rd and 1 here, but you have 2 downs to pick it up. You can run the ball here to make sure you get it and use your timeout, but I've learned from playing against him with Tom Brady how much time you actually do have.
There's no penalties here if you're the Browns offense.
Schmidt in warm-ups. Tried a couple of 56-yarders, missed one of them. The target line, it's not exact, but that's what we're anticipating.
Now you have the one-on-one match.
He hang on.
And I know that's a storyline for the Browns fans.
It popped up on him.
This year, but this time
He came down with it. And BJ, well, not BJ Hill, Dax Hill's hurt.
The Bengals have sat in too high zone defense.
Yeah, they sat in vanilla too high there.
They went one-on-one, and they found their former Pro Bowler, Jerry Jeudy. They haven't been on the same.
They've been putting him in motion all drive, trying to get that matchup with Dax Hill. And does a good job beating him out this slot. Good ball by Shador. And I think bobbles around, and Jerry Jeudy just catches it at the last second.
bobble, they're like, oh no, here we go.
All right, so if you're the Browns here, just don't take a sack.
The most in the NFL.
You just can't take negative yards.
Given Schmidt an opportunity. The headset on, talking to Tommy Reese, who is up in the box, the offensive coordinator. There's Reese. He's got the scruff, black hat, second one in.
Don't get it wrong, though, Tom. I would still, as a Browns fan, feel comfortable with another 5 or 10 more yards.
Absolutely.
Still got to keep pushing. You still got to stay aggressive. Obviously, you got to take care of the ball here.
I think they're going to run it.
The run game, the pass game is all
low percentage that they could take negative yards here.
He didn't use that timeout, so he still has both of them.
And again, if you're the Browns, can't get a penalty. No holding, no false starts, none of those pre-snaps.
Field goal range, though. That's one thing Shador has to do. Throw it away rather than taking a sack.
Marking out the Demetrius Knight is the Mike linebacker. On first down, Sampson. Sampson.
Good job by Sampson. Not falling in the backfield. Browns take their first time out. So I expect them to run it here, first and second down. Maybe something high percentage screen or something like that on second down. And then third down, they're going to take a shot downfield.
Run the ball.
A quick shot downfield.
Drain out, call the timeout, and try to kick the walk off. I know for sure Al Golden is going to bring some pressure.
Bonus coverage coming up after this. Jacksonville has one.
It's going to be a shot check down thing. Third down.
Point lead over Indianapolis. There's still plenty of time left in that game. There's Schmidt. Like every kicker, just uses the last few moments to get himself warm.
95 just needs a ring to be the greatest Brown ever. Absolutely.
Got to anticipate a lot of pressure at the line of scrimmage, and check out the Bengals right now. Everybody's there. Blitz is coming. Shador knows that he has one-on-one matchups all over the field.
Second down and 8. Sanders, he's looking for the end zone.
He's got him. Oh.
He had a step or two.
He missed him.
He just couldn't reel it in. It was Davis in the coverage.
He missed him.
This is fun, isn't it? Shador understands the pressure's coming.
He missed him.
A little too far out inside. Maybe puts on the outside. Bond has a chance. But don't be surprised.
All right, they're going to go back to that on 3rd and 8.
The Bengals bring it again. Make Shador have to pass it here. They don't want him to run the ball.
Third down, 3rd and 8. One timeout left.
Draw, draw, draw. It's going to be a draw.
The first matchup, the Bengals won 17-16. The Browns trying to get a little revenge.
All right, so the first game came down to a field goal for the Cleveland Browns. It'll be down to a field goal again, except for you feel much better about Andre Schmidt now making this field goal than you did about him making it the first game.
He is. He wanted to win this. He wanted to keep fighting. The defense fought today. Shador has played great down the stretch.
Well, here's Andre Schmidt, who in game 1 missed an extra point and a 32-yard field goal. He was under a lot of pressure after that because they took a chance on him. They stayed with him, and now he has a chance to give the Browns the victory with a 49-yard field goal. He has one.
No timeouts for the Bengals, so they can't ice him. No wind. It's just a straight shot. I think he's going to make it.
Good snap. Good hold. Nearly blocked.
And it's good, but there's a flag.
There is a flag.
It might be on the Bengals. I think they jumped over the center. I think the Bengals jumped over the center.
It was a hop, skip, and a jump.
But for the drama, we will see.
Yeah. I think they jumped over the center and they touched him.
can hop, you can't leverage, you can't push off on anybody.
That looks like it's going to do it.
Yeah, it's going to do it.
Kevin Stefanski,
Browns win.
Cleveland Browns.
So they win the game where Miles gets his 23rd sack of the season. That locks the Browns into the 7th pick of the draft, which makes a lot of the conversations we're going to have about them this offseason very, very different than what we thought they could be 2 weeks ago, where if the Browns lost those 2 games, they could end up with the number 2 pick in the draft. So that's going to be different, right? The Browns sitting with the 7th pick instead of a top pick. That makes trading up very difficult for them, right? I think whoever trades back is going to want to stay within the top 5. And now I think it is set in stone that, yeah, the Jets and the Cardinals will be ahead of the Browns. So they might have to look somewhere other than the draft to find their quarterback this offseason. But that is 5 wins. That's a 2-win improvement from 2026. That's a 2-game improvement from 2026. Kicker got his redemption on the game-winning drive. I love it. Yeah, it's nice to get Andre Schmidt to get that redemption, because I think the one thing that has been proven this season is that Andre Schmidt has redeemed himself fully for the start of the season. And I think that win right there, I mean, that kick right there kind of redeems the season for him, right? Where he started off not getting a win versus the Bengals because he missed the field goal. Now he does get that win against the Bengals. Obviously, this has other effects for the Browns. We'll see how they ride out those consequences in the offseason. But they will finish the year 5-12. Huge speculation swirling on Kevin's job. It's interesting, right? Because if you would have told me the Browns would win 5 games this year and would fire Kevin, I would have thought that was far-fetched. But the way that things unravel and the journey matters a lot more than just what the result is a lot of the times. The way that this journey has unraveled puts the Browns in a position where you might have to fire them. All right, let's catch up on some super chats here. Browns win game makes getting the quarterback much more difficult, so we all lose for the next several years. Who's ready for 2010 Browns football? We'll see what they do. We'll see what they do. The obvious path is not available to them right now when it comes to quarterback. They're going to have to be more creative when it comes to figuring out who the quarterback's going to be next year. But you can still solve your quarterback problem, especially with the resources that the Browns have. We'll see what's out there. As much as I'd rather have a better pick that was awesome for Schmidt, that's how I feel too. I'm happy that Schmidt got his redemption. Face Disabler says, Malik Willis, you are a Cleveland Browns. Let's go. Back-to-back division wins and sack records. It looks like that is the one pillar of Stefanskiism that has held, which is he's pretty good in division. Obviously, there was a lot that happened in that game, a lot to talk about in that game, and we'll get ready for the post-game show in just a minute here. But a interesting result here. Toasted Ginger says, good job, Miles, Schmidt, Kevin, in supporting cast. Love the content queue. Go Browns. Wade says, only fan base that hates winning. I would have to imagine you're being pretty blind to context, though, if you can't understand why some people are upset that the Browns won. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be mad that the Browns won, but I'm not going to act like I don't understand the benefit to losing this game for the Browns. Yeah. I can get being happy about this game. I can get being upset. But obviously, there's consequences to winning at this point in the season when you're not a playoff team. And those are consequences the Browns are going to have to deal with. They're going to be picking at 7 no matter what, right? They're locked into 7. There's no way that they're going to be any higher than 7 or any lower than 7. So this win locks them in pretty cleanly to the 7th pick of the draft. It's 5-12 now for the Browns. And hey, look, it saves you from watching 2 pretty dreadful 4 o'clock games. So in the short term, you do benefit here. But I think there are obvious reasons why people are upset. There's no answer for a quarterback, it looks like, on the roster right now. And this is a team that desperately needs an answer at the quarterback position. The D and Short stay. If that means the head coach stays, so be it. Defensive player of the year and rookie, that's some success. I don't think you can ignore the problems on offense anymore, though, man. I would love to sit here and push for continuity. I think continuity would be really important if you can justify it. It's just the offense. I mean, look at this game. I mean, the Browns only scored 10 points. Well, no, 6 points of offense in this game. The Bengals really put themselves in position to lose this one. But offensively, they've been dreadful. And I don't think you can continue to ignore that problem and just throw resources at it. I think you have to acknowledge that the problems with the offense are more than just the fact that you have not the greatest quality of players playing on it. I think it's also because of what they're being asked to do on top of it. You begging Dante Moore to go back to school to try to draft him next year. We'll see how the shit with the draft plays out, right? If the quarterbacks go 1 and 2, obviously the Browns weren't going to be a player in that after they won against Pittsburgh. But if the quarterbacks come out and one of them falls to the 4th or 5th pick in the draft, the Browns could certainly make a move up there. But I think trading into the top 5 now, it's going to be very expensive. Well, trading into the top 2, it's going to be just prohibitively expensive for the Browns, potentially. I could be wrong on that. Pittsburgh's been doing good the last 2 years without full confidence in their quarterback. Have they? Because they want to fire their coach. Is Pittsburgh really doing good? Or have you talked to a Steeler fan lately? I don't think they feel great about where they are. Us aspiring to be where Pittsburgh is right now is a massive red flag, right? Pittsburgh fans aren't happy with where they're at right now. You got to understand it. They're pissed about where they're at. They're furious about where they're at. Giants like Dart, they'll be open to trade. Sure, but trade to 7 is you're gonna have to up the ante. Within the top 5, I think there was a lot of room for the Browns to maneuver. It's tough. 7 is real tough. Especially when the Jets now have the trade up leverage over you because they will be selecting ahead of you. I think we underestimate how much of a positive effect winning this game will have. I hope we are. At least ending the season on a high note. I mean, look, I've watched the Browns end the season on a high note before, and it do absolutely nothing for the team the next year. So I can't sit here and be like, oh, well, we ended the season on a high note. That's obviously going to carry over. It's not. It's most than likely not going to carry over. What's going to make this team better is the work they do in the offseason, not the fact that they won a Week 18 game. So we'll see. We'll see. Here's the reality, though, because I see a lot of people putting their clocks up in the air. The Browns aren't going to go into the season being like, oh, well, we got Shador, we'll give him another year. That is not going to be a solution that anybody's going to go with. Maybe Shador, best chance he gets a chance to compete for the job next year. But the idea of him walking in, being the starter, undisputed, that shit's not happening. Yeah. It just has not been good enough for any team to justify that for him, no matter where he was drafted. So he's going to have to compete. We got a Fitty bomb From Max Al Dojo, 100 bomb. My bad. Congratulations, Miles, the GOAT in my book. Happy for Schmidt. Come full circle. And thank you, Brown Q, for getting us through. Appreciate you, Max. Appreciate you, Max. That was a 100 bomb, man. Shout out to Max, man. This air horns. Big shout out to Max. Also, like, the Browns are still probably firing Kevin, right? I think we might feel like it's not on the table anymore, but I think they're firing Kevin still. We'll see. How long before Kevin gets the axe? Tomorrow after the Super Bowl? If they're not going to wait after the Super Bowl, they're either going to do it this week or they're not going to do it at all, right? That's the options that they have. Either they fire him tomorrow on Monday or they don't fire him at all. They'll give him Sunday, but the decision has to be made by the end of Monday. You know, if they wait till the Super Bowl to fire him, this franchise doesn't know what the fuck they're doing and they're screwed going forward. You know, there's just no way that can happen. Because if you wait till the Super Bowl, you're not going to hire a new coach till after the Senior Bowl, till after the East-West Shrine, in a year where draft, you just absolutely cannot have that. So if he's fired, it'll happen tomorrow. Will the Browns wait to draft a quarterback in 2027? Honestly, it depends on what their options are. That's really what this is going to come down to. What are their options? They have resources that they can use to maybe get a quarterback. What options are available, and do those options make sense for the resources that they would have to spend is the question, right? Do they have the ability to maneuver enough to go after a Kyler Murray? Do they have enough to trade up and get a top draft pick to go after a quarterback? Do they like one of these guys who aren't the top two quarterbacks? They're going to have to evaluate their options and see what the situation is going forward. But the idea of returning to a room that has Deshaun Watson, Shedeur Sanders, and Dylan Gabriel in it is not an option. They got to make changes to that quarterback room, significant ones. What would you like to not see? What would you not like to see in the offseason? The word Jimmy Sexton be associated with the Cleveland Browns coaching search in any way. Jimmy Haslam being heavily involved in the process. Obviously, Jimmy's going to have some level of involvement, but Jimmy Haslam, like, running the coaching search worries me a great deal. He's not been good at it. Yeah, those things, right? Not a Yahoo, but you deserve it. A tip. Thank you for the season. Appreciate you, Jeffrey. Appreciate you. All right. Been driving since 6 a.m. Couldn't watch the game. Listen on the stream. Love the content, Q. Thank you, George. Let me finish that super chat. I got to pull up on a different screen to see it. Okay. Yeah, been driving since 6 a.m. Couldn't watch the game. Absolutely stoked to be done with the season. Me too. Now we get to know what the Browns' cards are going into the offseason for sure. Another season in the book. This is from Zane Train. Not the result we were hoping for, but appreciate your unbiased takes this season. Go Browns. Appreciate you. Troy Green, my bad, says, I will be pissed if Stefanski is fired. He has the locker room. Sometimes it's the players and the talent hasn't suddenly become stupid. Here's the problem with that theory, that it's just the players of why Kevin Stefanski hasn't been successful. We're ignoring that Kevin has a say in the players that the Browns bring in. And the players he's had a say in bringing in have not been successful, right? Like, he has a part in that process. That is one of the good things that you get when Andrew Berry is your GM. He's a collaborative person. You're going to have say in the selection of the players you get. Look at the difference between the philosophy of drafting on defense when Joe Woods was here, where the Browns could not stop drafting DBs, and then when Jim Schwartz was here, right? Jim Schwartz comes here, we're all of a sudden drafting defensive tackles early, right? That's because Jim Schwartz has influence over what the Browns use those resources to draft with. The same influence is what Kevin Stefanski has, and he's used that influence and not gotten the same results that Jim Schwartz has gotten on the defensive side of the ball. And look, Jim Schwartz got better resources for the most part, but the fact that you can't have one solid wide receiver here, right? The fact that the offensive line development and the decisions that they have made long-term on offensive line with Kevin Stefanski in mind have been what they've been, I think are also things that Kevin has contributed to a level that is like higher than I think people are willing to give it credit for. So I get it. I get that he has a locker room and he's not a completely terrible coach, but do you believe that hanging on to Kevin is going to fix this offense? Because it needs to be fixed. And we can't just sit here and watch this for 2 years and say, oh, it's only the talent that's the problem. Like, yeah, the talent sucks. Quarterback sucks. Your wide receiver is not great, but it can't only be that after 2 years. Samantha McIntosh, thank you for another great year of coverage. Q, go Browns. Appreciate you, Samantha. All right, let's get to the post-game show on Bleacher Report 2. Dom J with the 20 bomb. Appreciate you with the super chat, brother. All right. Yeah, let's get to the post-game show. It's upset with me. It's going to make sure that we're live here on both platforms. We got a super chat on YouTube from Ray Jackson. Thank you, Q, for a great season. I've been here all the way since 2018, so since the beginning. Appreciate you. You've made the Browns, a lot of painful Browns years, a lot better. Thank you. Also, the Browns can get to 6 if Washington wins. I don't think that's true. Because if Washington wins, yeah, you're right. The Browns can get to 6. My bad. If Washington wins, the Browns can get to the 6th pick of the draft. So the Browns can move up one more spot. I don't know if it tangibly changes the conversation that the Cleveland Browns are going to have over the draft, but thank you for that correction. That is a good correction there. Appreciate that. Thank you, Ray. Thanks for another season. This is from Sean, another season and well-reasoned thoughts and opinions. I try to do my best. I try to do my best every day to just be honest about what I'm feeling and vocalize that honesty in a way that is well thought out and well considered, right? That's what I try to do. Face Disabled says, Bubba better be gone tomorrow for the love of God. I am like 100% confident no matter what the Browns do, Bubba's going to be fired. The question is, if you hear that just Bubba got fired, maybe Kevin keeps his job, but Bubba's going to be fired, right? Like, there's no way you come back and bring him out. Expensive Freedom says, how happy am I to be wrong on Andre Schmidt? Dude, I'm thrilled to be fucking wrong about Andre Schmidt. I am thrilled. Like, I'm glad that we don't have to spend another offseason begging ourselves to find another kicker again. Because that's been the bane of the Browns' existence for the last couple of years, is trying to find somebody who can kick the ball at a reasonable level. It's been awful for this team. So thankful ultimately to be in a position where the Browns aren't looking for that as something to fix anymore. And that they can go into the offseason with a reasonable expectation that they do have a kicker. So that's really good. All right. We're going to get into the post-game show here. I want to thank you if you joined me on Bleacher Report. If you're on YouTube with me, appreciate you as well. Lots of things to get into, lots of things to talk about. But the first thing to discuss is simple. Did we just watch Kevin Stefanski go out in a blaze of glory? Did we just watch the era of Kevin Stefanski go out in a way that I actually find to be quite poetic? See, if there's one team Kevin Stefanski has dominated in this division as his entire time as a Cleveland Browns coach, it's been the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals have always been the team that Kevin has had the easiest time with when it comes to his 10 years as Browns coach. Even when they had Joe Burrow, before they had Joe Burrow, Kevin Stefanski beating the Bengals at least once a year was something you can write in stone. And he ends this season, we don't know if it's going to be his run in Cleveland, but he ends his season with a victory versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, that's one thing that happened in this game. I wouldn't say it was the most noteworthy thing that happened in this game. The most noteworthy thing is that Myles Garrett got sack number 23. Yes, Myles Garrett is your new all-time sack leader. Now, there are going to be some people, and I think this is a video that I have to do because there are going to be some people, especially those who swore to God to you that TJ was better, that are going to try to take away this accomplishment. I will not be one of those people. Myles Garrett, congratulations for becoming the sack leader in the NFL in a single season. Myles Garrett, your all-time sack leader at 23. Nobody has done it in the amount of pass snaps, true pass sets that he has had. Myles Garrett is truly one of one. And here's the crazy thing. He's such a good football player that I think he will be at this mark again and get the chance to break his own record. I don't think we've heard the last of Myles setting this sack record. It's funny to think, too, when we go back to Myles's career, just to have a bit of like perspective on the expectations that have been put on his shoulders as the kind of generational talent he is at the edge position. It's funny because it's like the first, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the first 4 years of his career, I think people were making the argument that his sack numbers were underwhelming, right? 7 sacks his rookie year, 13 and a half, 2018, 10 sacks his 2019, 2020, he had 12. And I've always made the argument that Myles' impact has always outpaced the sack number, and I think that's even true even to today as he broke the single season sack record. But only because Myles is amazing could you look at years where he's getting double-digit sacks as a failure. I think if you look at like the Browns single season sack records since coming back in 1999, it's literally just Myles Garrett's career sack numbers. Like that's how dominant he's been in respect to the amount of edge rushers the Browns have had in the past. Like if you measure up his double-digit sack seasons in his career to the Browns, then when you don't count Myles, obviously, it's a tremendous number. Now, after 2020, starting in 2021, Myles Garrett's sack numbers took a leap here, right? Got 16 sacks in 2021, 16 in 2022, 14 in 2023, 14 in 2024. I believe all 4 of those seasons broke his single season sack record for the Cleveland Browns. That is how many sacks in 4 years? 60 sacks in 4 seasons. Myles Garrett today, 23 sacks in a season, the most that's ever been done. It's interesting to see how people will play it, but it's the most sacks ever to be done. If you look at the amount of dropbacks he had this season, it's the most sacks with the least amount of dropbacks for anybody in NFL history. This is by far and away the most impressive pass rusher season of all time. To get 23 sacks on a team like the Cleveland Browns that is providing no threat offensively is truly spectacular. Like, I want to go back and look at when Michael Strahan got it and see how good the Giants were. My memory might be failing me, but my memory tells me that that was the year that the Giants like snuck into the playoffs and then won it all. And if you ask Michael Strahan about who's had the more impressive season, him or Myles Garrett, he will tell you straight up it's Myles Garrett. But 2001 is when he got the sack record. Wow, 2001. That record has stood since 2001. Another round of applause. But since 2001, that sack record has held for Michael Strahan. That season, the Giants were, let me see. The 2001 Giants weren't good. They were 5-9. And where did they rank offensively? They were a mediocre team offensively. So it's an impressive thing that Strahan did, getting to 22.5 in 16 games. Myles Garrett got the 22 in 16 as well. So, I mean, I don't know. You got to be a hater to try to take away from what Myles did this year, right? What did he have? Yeah, he got the 23 sacks, 22 sacks in 16. He got the 22 in 16. So essentially the same season that Michael Strahan had in 16, and then broke it in 17. And if you look at the number of dropbacks he had versus when Michael Strahan had, he had way more dropbacks, way less dropbacks. So again, impressive. All-time record. Myles Garrett gets it. I don't know how anybody who's supporting TJ Watt tries to take away from this, because TJ didn't get in 17 either. Well, did TJ get 17 games? Let me double check that, make sure I'm right about that as well. Was TJ's sack record season so long ago that it wasn't even in the 17 game era? It might have not been. 2021, was that 17 games in 2021? He had 15 games. He got injured that year, but it was a 17 game season. So yeah, most impressive season for Myles Garrett. Most impressive amount of dropbacks. There's really no asterisk to put on it unless you're an idiot. So a lot there for Myles. Thankfully, he got that award. It felt like, we got right up to the edge where I was starting to be concerned that maybe Myles wasn't going to get the award. But thankfully, he got the award. So that is that for Myles. He got the award. He won his goal for the season. 23 sacks for Myles. He goes into the record book. He was already a Hall of Famer walking into this season. Now he's making the argument for greatest of all time. I think that's what he spends the rest of his career trying to prove, that he's the greatest edge rusher of all time. And I think what will cement him, and he's already the greatest to me. I've never seen anybody better than Myles. But what will cement him as the greatest of all time is if he has another 20-plus sack season. If he has two of those, I don't think anybody's ever done anything that ridiculous. If he has two of those, which I think he will in his career, then he's the greatest of all time. There's really no competition. He's had, so if he pulls off another season like he did this year, he will be the greatest of all time, in my book. And I think that's what Myles, on top of trying to win a Super Bowl, will determine a lot. All right, let's talk about the actual game, though, right? We talked about a lot of the consequences surrounding the game. We haven't even gotten into the draft pick, because the Browns will be either 6 or 7 in the draft pick order. They're going to be out the top 5, which will be interesting to see what they do picking out the top 5. I don't even think a trade back is really feasible at this point either, picking out the top 5. So let's talk about what actually happened in this game, which is in the background, right? The Browns scored 14 points off turnovers. Offensively, the Browns only scored 6 points in this game. I thought Shedeur was pretty bad in this game. He had the drive at the end where he got into field goal range. That's really cool, and it's a nice ending for the season for him. But if we're judging what he did in this game, I don't think if Dylan has this game or if Joe Flacco has this game, we're talking about this being good. It was a pretty bad game for Shedeur Sanders. I don't think there's really any way around it. He looked bad in this game. Really fortunate that Shedeur didn't throw multiple interceptions in this one. I thought he put the ball in danger a ton. Luckily, the Cincinnati secondary could not catch. And also, luckily, the Browns defense picked up the slack for the offense, scoring 14 points in the first half, which clearly put them ahead, right? If they don't get those 14 points, Browns only score 6 points. They lose this game by a significant margin to the Cincinnati Bengals, but a tremendous effort on defense from the Browns puts this game over the top for them. Special teams also stepping up for the 6 points. The Browns offense actually scored no points. It was special teams and defense that put up all the points in this game. So yeah, there might be some people who try to spin it, act like this game was good because Shedeur had a game-winning drive at the end. And kudos to Shedeur. This was the most Kenny Pickett-pilled game Shedeur has ever played. And I think there's a lot to that comp with him and Kenny Pickett. I'll talk about that in a video I'm releasing later this week. But if we're wondering like what I feel about Shedeur in this game and Shedeur's run, it was pretty Kenny Pickett-pilled. If you remember, Kenny Pickett had a lot of these game-winning drives where he needed to just get a field goal, and that was the justification for Pittsburgh to sink 2 years into Kenny Pickett. Obviously, that was a mistake for Pittsburgh. They found out he wasn't even better than like Mason Rudolph, but that's what justified it in their minds. We'll see if this justifies this going forward with the Browns. Here's my 2 cents on the quarterback room. People are going to have a lot of opinions. I don't know how this is controversial. I think if you're looking at this soberly, it's not controversial. You cannot return to a room that has only Shedeur, Deshaun Watson, and Dylan Gabriel in it. If you are not adding a significant player to that room this offseason, that's malpractice, right? You're setting the franchise up for failure next year. Unless your goal is to legitimately tank next year, that can't be the operation at quarterback. Shedeur has not shown enough to guarantee a starting position in the NFL by any metric. Dylan Gabriel, same thing with him. And Deshaun Watson, you'd be stupid to be like, oh yeah, we're going to start Deshaun. We're going to just run that out there again when he was bad before the 2 Achilles tears, let alone after it, when he couldn't even get healthy for this year to clear the practice window. You can't run it back with this quarterback room and think shit's going to be cool. If you run it back with this quarterback room, I don't care who survives this season, everybody's going to get fired next year, right? That's setting you up for failure. So the Browns got to do something at quarterback. Obviously, it's not the only thing they have to address, but it's one of the things that they must address. 82 net yards from your quarterback today can't be the justification for keeping him for next year. Just can't. There are going to be some people who don't like that. There are going to be some people who call me a hater for being real about that, but that's just being honest. I would be bullshitting you if I told you that Shedeur has showed enough to start for an NFL team. People who are telling you that are buying in, but they're not really being honest with what they've seen around the league and what gets guys opportunities, especially when you're considering he's a day 3 pick. So, definitely got to address the quarterback room significantly. The offensive line has to be addressed. There's so many injuries at this point, it's hard to evaluate what even the Browns have, but just pure age and contracts and money are going to force the Browns that have to readdress this room, right? Jack Conklin's old and expensive, and you're not going to pay for him anymore. Wyatt Teller, he's at the end of his contract. You got to make a decision on him. Joe Bitonio's at the end of his contract and his career. Luke Whippler and Ethan Posick look like they're not going to be able to be in training camp this year because they're going to be starting the year on IR. So you got to get a new center now. And left tackle, DeJuan Jones has been hurt multiple years in a row. You don't have a left tackle right now. You got to address left tackle, and you're probably going to want to address wide receiver as well. Jerry Jeudy, not been impressive enough to lean on him as a number one wide receiver. And you probably got to bring in more people. Maybe that's what you use the 7th pick in the draft on. You get a wide receiver. Maybe you trade for somebody in free agency. But those 3 spots of this offense have to be addressed in a significant manner this offseason if you want anybody to believe that you're going to be better anytime soon, right? Can't sit on your hands at quarterback. Can't sit on your hands at wide receiver. Can't sit on your hands at offensive line. If you don't address those 3 positions thoroughly this offseason, and like with quarterback, we're talking like at worst, the worst thing that you could do that would be acceptable would be like Malik Willis, Mac Jones. Like you do anything less than that, you're not even trying to solve the problem, right? So you got to do something there. You got to get a starter in free agency at offensive line. And you gotta bring in a wide receiver here that can change the outcome, that can change the outlook of this room. Preferably 2. I would like 2. But you gotta majorly address those 3 areas. If you address one but not the other, you're not gonna fix the team. If you address 2 and not the other, you're not gonna fix. You gotta address all 3 of those things. And you gotta stretch, pull, figure out what you need to figure that out. But it is beyond obvious to me that this quarterback room cannot return as is, and you think that it's going to get better. That this offensive line cannot return as is and think you can make it better. And that this wide receiver room cannot return as is. All those things need to be changed. You can keep the defense as is, and we'll see what they do. We'll see what Kevin, his future is. I think he gets fired still, but we'll see what that is. But now that the season is over, the roadmap for the offense and for the offseason is clear. Quarterback, offensive line, wide receiver. Got to fix those 3. Got to do something. Got to introduce some starters to those rooms because you don't have enough starters at offensive line. You don't have a starting quarterback at quarterback, and you don't have a starting wide receiver or a number 1 or 2 quality wide receiver right now. Jerry Jeudy can be that, but you can't bet on it. So that's where you're at. That's what this offseason will be about. It's like the syllabus for the offseason, but that's where they're at. You know, we'll see what kind of job they do going forward. Look at some super chats here real quick as we catch up on them. Appreciate you guys for joining me on stream for a year of post-game shows. Hopefully Bleacher Report has me back. The real 2863 with a $5 super chat. Appreciate the $5 super chat. You can tell y'all have been bad for decades. Y'all need O-line, not a 50 million number of quarterback ones. Y'all getting mad at a game-winning drive. Ha, 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 ha. 12, wristwatch, wristwatch, wristwatch. I mean, like, we watched the game, brother. Like, he was bad in this game. So I don't know what to tell you, dog. It was a bad game from Shedeur, and it's been a bad month of games from Shedeur. And whoever's brought in to be the head coach next year, whether it be Kevin or a new guy, you know, they're going to consider that. Miles is on pace to break Bruce Smith's all-time record by 31. He's only 79 away now. Bruce Smith's the all-time sack leader. How many sacks does Bruce Smith have in his career? It's funny, too, because I believe Bruce Smith was Myles Garrett's mentor. Yeah, so I think Bruce Smith was Myles Garrett's mentor around the draft. 200 career sacks. Jeez. Goodness gracious. Yeah, like, let me double check that, but I think he was Myles Garrett's mentor. Yeah. Yeah, I think he's been a big mentor for Myles Garrett throughout his career, so that would be cool. I bet Bruce Smith is rooting for it. Matt Begg says, for perhaps the last time, hope Kev stays and finishes the job. Go Browns. We'll see. We'll see what happens with Kevin. I just think the biggest issue for Kevin is you got to answer for the offense. And I don't think there's an answer for the offense, man, other than letting him go. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's continue. But Myles Garrett gets a sack record. He's on the way to getting Bruce Smith's record. Imagine if he's the all-time sack leader. How many years did it take? Bruce Smith played till he was 40. Oh my God. He played till he was 40. Damn. Damn. 18 years? 18 years for Bruce Smith? Are you serious? Damn. Whew. It's crazy to look at like Myles Garrett's stats, like his sack numbers, and like compare him to somebody like Bruce Smith, who again, Hall of Famer, no doubt. And just like realize that like Miles's numbers just blow Bruce Smith's out the water. Like Bruce Smith's one of the best. But you look at like what Myles has done before he turned 31 to what Bruce Smith has done, it's blown out the water, dude. It's crazy. It's crazy to think about how good Myles Garrett has been. Hopefully the Browns will reward him with a Super Bowl sooner than later, right? But to get to that Super Bowl, you got to address the offense, got to address quarterback, got to address offensive line, got to address wide receiver. All three of them. Got to address them. No way around it. Can't just sit here on your hands and be like, oh, well, I hope wide receivers make my quarterback better. Can't just sit on your hands and be like, oh, I hope a better offensive line makes the quarterback better. Can't just sit on your hand and think, oh, I hope a better quarterback makes both those other things better. Got to figure out how you can upgrade the quarterback position, or at least give yourself a chance at an upgrade at the quarterback position. Yeah. My hope here is I want the Browns to win a Super Bowl in my lifetime. And I know they're not going to get there with what they have on offense right now. We can make excuses about it. We can act like we didn't see what we saw this year and write it off on a whole bunch of stuff. But what we've seen from Shedeur this year has been about a little bit worse than what we saw from Kenny Pickett in his first 7 games. If you look at the whole rookie year, it's significantly worse than Kenny Pickett, right? And it's interesting that Browns fans have dogged Steeler fans for having belief in Kenny Pickett. But Shedeur is the Browns' version of Kenny Pickett right now, especially if the Browns decide to go all in on him next year. It's the same mistake the Steelers made with Kenny Pickett, in my opinion, or at least the same brand of decision that it was to make that move of Kenny Pickett. Like, I'll talk about it later. I got more numbers to kind of back up my argument here, but I think Shedeur favors Kenny Pickett in any kind of comparison that you have for him of quarterbacks who have played recently. I think there's a lot of similarities to Kenny Pickett. a lot of similarities to Kenny Pickett. I mean, Kenny Pickett didn't get first team reps his first season in the offseason. Kenny Pickett wasn't the day one starter, I don't believe. I believe he was later. He came in later. They started Mitchell Trubisky over him. I don't think he had a 1,000-yard wide receiver. I think George Pickens, rookie year George Pickens. So, I mean, like a better team overall. And I think that's why his numbers and his win-loss record was much better than Shador's was his rookie year. But if we're looking like at some of the numbers to just judge how well you played a position of quarterback, very similar. Very similar. So you got to upgrade those three things, man. Got to upgrade those three things. Can't sit on your hands at any of those positions because you got to get use out of this defense, which I think is going to have like 3 more years of high-level play. You can't continue to sit on your hands here. So, yeah, if Washington wins, the Browns will be picking 7th or 6th. If Washington loses, the Browns will be picking 7th. So we'll see where they sit. All right. But that's been about it. You know, Browns win versus the Bengals. We'll see what happens next year. But the work starts now. The offseason starts now. We'll see what decision they make at head coach because that will be the first decision for the Cleveland Browns. I want to thank you guys for joining me, whether it be on Bleacher Report this season or on YouTube. Appreciate every single one of you who've come through, chatted with me. Everybody have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.